Well, hello there once again, audience members. It is your host, Steve, and with me, as always, is my lovely assistant here and co host, Brian. Hey, Brian.
Since when the fuck am I the assistant?
I just needed to give you a title.
I'm the star.
Yes, you are the star of this. All right. Brian, what are we talking about today?
I guess a little indie movie called Batman Begins.
Batman Begins. Right?
What the fuck did you just say?
We're doing Christopher Nolan's take on Batman, so we're going to lose our voices with Batman. That's how he talks.
I'm not doing that.
He talk. Yeah, no,
I'm
it's gonna hurt our throats real bad.
It hurts my throat listening to you.
This is, of course, ABC Family's greatest romance ever. Batman Begins.
I forgot about that. I'll explain it. When Batman Begins, I think it was like a year after Batman Begins came out or whatever.
Yeah.
It was hitting like networks and ABC Family. You can find his trailer. It's so funny. He fights for, what was it? It was like he fights for love.
Yeah.
And he fights for the city.
No, he fights for love and his family.
Yeah, which he doesn't have a family, you idiots. It's like they did. Oh god, it's so weird. It's such a weird. It's like they frame it as like this romantic movie.
Yeah, like a romantic comedy, and they even throw in the joke of, does it come in black? Ding! It's...
When I first... Deadpool parodied that.
Yes. This trailer haunted me for years.
I never knew it existed until a couple years. I think you showed it to me.
Yes, I found it and I had to show it to you. Yes.
And I was like, this is fake. This isn't real. Get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah. All right. So,
oh, God,
as always, I will start with the synopsis and the Wikipedia, all right?
Alrighty.
All right. The synopsis is a young Bruce Wayne, played by Christian Bale, travels to the Far East where he is trained in the martial arts by Henry Ducard, played by Liam Neeson, a member of the mysterious League of Shadows. When Ducard reveals that the League's true purpose, the complete destruction of Gotham City, Wayne returns to Gotham intent on cleaning up the city without resorting to murder. With the help of Alfred, played by Michael Caine, and his lawyer, with the help of Alfred, played by Michael Caine, his loyal butler, and Lucius Fox, played by Morgan Freeman, a tech expert at Wayne Enterprises, Batman is born. All right, so that's the Google synopsis. Batman Begins, according to Wikipedia, 2005 superhero film directed by Christopher Nolan, written by Nolan and David S. Goyer, based off a DC Comics character Batman. Okay, you have Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne and the Batman, Michael Caine, Liam Neeson, Katie Holmes, Gary Oldman, Cillian Murphy.
I think it's pronounced Killian.
Cillian Murphy, Tom Wilkinson, Rutger Hauer, which I always forget.
Yeah, he's the CEO of Wayne, isn't he?
Yeah, Ken Watanabe, which
he was the fake
complete waste of his talents.
And he would have been a great Ra's al Ghul.
And the perfect casting of Morgan Freeman. It is in supporting roles. All right, this film is a reboot, a new Batman film series, based going off the success and then floundering of the previous sessions of the Batman
films.
Where
we went from Burton's, dark gothicness, which we've talked about, I think, pretty extensively now, to neon and color and just flashing lights.
Yeah, and flamboyantness and very, very over the top. This is more stylized noir. Very grounded in reality versions.
It almost feels like it's not a comic book movie.
No, it is not trying. It's trying not to be a comic book movie. It's trying to be a real movie. The villains that Batman must face in this taking is Ra's al Ghul, the leader of the League of Shadows, and the ever scary Scarecrow.
He didn't seem that scary in this movie.
No. Pretty terrifying, but not as terrifying as he's been in previous.
As he's supposed to be.
Especially not as scary as he was in the animated series.
The last season, yeah.
Yeah, that was terrifying. Yes, so the main plot is that Batman not only must stop the League of Shadows from destroying Gotham in an attempt to clean it up, as they've apparently done to all sorts of other places, like they were the cause of the fall of Rome.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't it like implied that they've done this to other things,
like Rome, Istanbul, Constantinople, really.
Just such a fascinating
Yeah,
storyline.
yeah. Apparently, every time, like they were like the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Apparently, and as well, he must stop Scarecrow from plunging the entire city in fear toxin.
Using like some sort of water bomb or something.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
It's like a dirty bomb.
It's a dirty bomb in the water system. Which I mean,
That tracks the
that
Scarecrow.
you expect, especially post anthrax scare and all that.
Yeah,
That's
hide the
like
Iraq
yeah, like
War.
the chemicals in the water has always been a major terrorist threat of recent years.
Oh, around this time too.
Yes. So uh the filming takes place all around the world: United Kingdom, Iceland, Chicago. Uh, I think a few pickups in L.A. maybe.
Probably for some of the studio shots or
Yeah.
whatever. Like some interiors.
Heavily use of Chicago in this one. It's
Yeah.
basically just Chicago, really.
With Chicago, and then they CGI'd, I think, like in the cityscape.
Yes.
Like bits of Detroit in there too.
The comic book inspirations for the storylines are The Man Who Falls, Batman Year One, and Batman Long Halloween. Serve as the inspiration points for this.
I don't really get the Long Halloween in this one. I get it more in the Dark Knight.
I definitely get the vibes from the Scarecrow feeling.
The Scarecrow was not really.
It doesn't have to be one-on-one adaptation.
True.
It's inspiration.
I mean, definitely more in the next one. The Long Halloween is in there.
Okay. Grossing a 48 million in its open weekend in North America. Total grossing worldwide of 371.9 million worldwide, and one of the highest grossing, ninth highest grossing to be exact, film of 2005. Bunch of Academy Awards, especially for best cinematography. Yeah, and then it's followed by its sequels, The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, known as the Dark Knight Trilogy. On every Blu-ray I've seen of it.
Yeah, it was known as the Dark Knight Trilogy as soon as Rises was announced.
I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be a 4 to 5 part series. That cut down to 3.
It feels like it, but I mean, I can't find any evidence that was the case.
I'm just going with a gut feeling that it was
Yeah,
at least supposed to be 4 movies.
Maybe it was tossed around as like a germ of an idea. Like, what if we do it as like? But that could also be like maybe you don't want to oversaturate Batman. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened from like 89 to 97. That's not very long.
We'll definitely feel this more once we get to the last iteration. That one definitely felt not complete. Like it
felt missing.
It felt like there was just chunks of it missing, and it felt like
kind of taped together.
Yeah, it felt like it was like stuffed together in too small of a box, really.
And I guess like, a good comparison, if you want, with Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, this is A New Hope, and The Dark Knight is The Empire Strikes Back.
Yes. The sequel to this will be much more revered.
Yes, revered, and was like huge when it came out. Which
We'll
we'll go over all that when we talk about The Dark Knight.
Yeah. So this film comes out in 2005. This is a 10-year gap.
Almost. It was 8 years.
8-year gap between.
I think. Hold on. 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001. About 8 years.
Yeah, about 8-year gap between Batman franchises, which back then was a pretty long time.
It was almost 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
10 years.
As technology has advanced, of course, like 20 years is nothing. Like the Wonder Years reboot that just came out, when it originally was out 20 years ago, that was a long time ago, but now they had to go back.
A little bit forward.
They had to go even more back to the 80s rather than 20 years ago of the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Which no one wants to see a Wonder Years about growing up in 2000.
No, I'm good on
that. Because we're still young.
So, do you want me to go over the failed Batman projects from 1997 to 2004?
Sure. Let's talk about a little bit of what inspired the making of this film.
After Batman and Robin, there was going to be a fifth one that was called Batman It had a couple different names: Batman Unchained, Batman Triumphant. But this is where the idea of the Scarecrow came in as like the main villain.
Yes.
The Scarecrow, I think, was someone Warner Bros. Wanted to do for a real long time. And I think even Joel Schumacher kind of brought up like the idea of like, well, both these guys use fear. And that's something that is touched upon in Batman Begins, is where Scarecrow uses fear, Batman uses fear in different ways. Batman uses fear as a weapon to terrorize his enemies, but so does the Scarecrow. But, one's a good person, the other one's not. So there's always that interesting dichotomy that is never really brought up a whole lot in Batman media between the two of them. That they're both very similar in how they use fear.
Scarecrow Dr. Crane's whole gimmick is that he was a psychologist who became a psychologist to overcome all the phobias that he had growing up.
Yes.
And trying to figure out how fear works and how to like prevent it.
And once he figured that out, he realized he could play God.
Yes, he became crazed with power, and various forms of him. Normally, he has a fear toxin of some sort. That's usually a gas that he uses against people.
It's usually a gas or some sort of liquid chemical.
In more modern takes, like the Arkham games,
it's a straight up like gas.
It's a gas, and also he's got syringe hands, which is really terrifying.
Yeah, that's a mainly Arkham thing. I've never seen that. I think it's like a Freddy Krueger influence.
I really like it.
So back to movies. So that was one project that kind of just fizzled out. And then there was Batman Dark Knight, which was, I think, again, because they knew they wanted to reboot it. Mm-hmm. They knew that since I think at least the end of Batman Robin's production. They're like, okay, we've kind of gone a little bit pants on head crazy. I love that phrase.
Yeah.
But we've gone kind of now from audiences have changed since the 1980s. They've changed since the Superman movies of the 70s. So they wanted something more serious. Everyone tried. It was failed project after failed project. Batman Dark Knight was going to be basically what this movie was.
Yes.
I don't think, though, it was... I'm trying to remember, because there's a lot of them that are very similar. I think the really big thing about Batman Dark Knight was going to have Catwoman in it. It was going to focus more on, I don't think Scarecrow was in it at all. I think it was, like, the Penguin.
Yeah.
It was going to be, like, more realistic, grounded villains. That kind of fell nowhere. And then there was Darren Aronofsky's Batman. You didn't know this, did you?
No.
I saw a look on your face. So Darren Aronofsky had this crazy idea of making Batman a homeless kid after the death of his parents.
Okay.
And I'm not done yet. He uses a muscle car, kind of like in The Batman, right?
All right.
He has a tricked out muscle car. He lives in a garage with this big black mechanic named Big Al, who's Alfred. And in this mechanic shop was his Batcave. This idea... There's he has like a baseball bat as a weapon. Because he's broke as shit. So some of the plot was like, okay, he's lost his money. It's a lot of Wayne stuff. And then there's, I think the Joker was the villain in it or something. I'm not really sure who the villain was. The problem is with the villains is that you use so much of them already. You have to start digging further into comics, but you're afraid of it.
It's not like you're going to, like, Calendar Man can't be the big... Well,
no.
I could see that as like maybe like an HBO.
So he would work as like a Hannibal Lecter type, which is where he was like kind of rebooted in A Long Halloween as like he was a serial killer who's like Batman used to help track the holiday killer.
Like you can't have like the Condiment King as the big bad guy.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, well,
Mustard deserves vengeance. Anyway, Mustard deserves vengeance. Hashtag 2022. The Batman Mustard deserves vengeance. Anyway, so all these projects fizzled out, and then another big thing was Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, this project's been rumored since
2003. It was rumored since 2003.
At very minimum. I mean, I remember in 2011, I heard from just some dude. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He pointed out all of the movies that were coming out, the ones that hadn't been announced yet. I don't know how he knew. He pointed out Batman vs. Superman was going to come. A Justice League movie was going to come.
I'll go into that because that was
like more Avengers. Yeah. He was picking out like like comic book characters that we're just finding out or been green light that he said like, yeah, they're all going to get this and like these dates. So I've known this stuff for years because just some dude at a hotel I was working at told me, and I don't know how he knew any of this.
Magic.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how one day I remember before Batman Begins was like officially announced, I was like,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be kind of neat if Scarecrow was a villain in the Batman movies? And I was like 11.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Scarecrow's always been like a more
He's had movie potential.
yeah, he's always been a more grounded,
Theatrical.
yeah, like something that audiences can understand easily.
Right, okay, here's this asshole. He puts like a burlap sack over his
Yeah.
head and so on and so forth. Justice League Mortal, which was like the big one.
Yeah, that's the one that everyone kept talking about back on like God, GameSpot days.
Yeah, it was like it had like a big spread ready and all that, and that just fizzled out big time.
I think there's
images of them in
there's
the
like
Justice
full
League.
clips of
No.
like
Nothing was ever filmed.
It was like potential CGI.
Oh yes, of that, but
And
nothing was ever filmed.
That looked pretty cool.
We'll go into the failed Batman versus Superman when we talk about the actual Batman versus Superman.
There was even a Just League Mortal video game.
Yes,
that I saw.
That was going to come out and that failed.
That looked really cool.
It did, and it is a shame that we didn't get these. Now these projects were all happening from as early as I can tell from the end of Batman Robin to about 2004 when Christopher Nolan was signed on. Now, how they went with this route was, I think it was David Goyer who he had done a lot of crime drama. He wrote The Crow, so movie.
Yeah, he had chops.
He was like, okay, fuck all this like goofy shit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about his origin. It's never been really brought up in the movies before. It was like flashbacks usually, like, the Joker is usually the killer, whatever. Now let's talk about where this guy is. Like, who is he? What is he? What makes him? Let's actually explore him. Let's actually go into comics. Year One was a big influence.
Yeah, he said, I want to do Year One. And Nolan wanted to do Year One.
Everyone was like, Year One's the way to go. Even Joel Schumacher wanted to do Year One.
Everybody wanted to do the Year One, but no one knew how to tackle it. Because a lot of times it's just easier to take a character that's established and just have them be established.
Yeah. So now you have in the superhero film genre leading up to Batman Begins, you had X-Men, you had Blade, which were hits. They weren't the big blockbuster until you got to Spider-Man, which covers his main origin, his love interest, his arch nemesis, all in one movie. And it was done very seriously. I mean, it's campy, but
it's camp, but it's not cheesy. It's
not Joel Schumacher camp.
It's camp in the way that going to see a play is camp.
Correct. And this kind of sent a message to Hollywood, like, hey, it's not just always like goofy, over the top stuff.
So this leads us to post Batman. Okay, there's a few gaps, and then in 1999, X-Men comes out, right?
Okay, the first X-Men. Blade came out in 98.
Yeah, so Blade comes out in 98. It's a R-rated Marvel comic of a character who's not only a minority, it's a character that nobody outside of comic fans has heard of.
I didn't know who Blade was, and not a lot of people did. Everyone thought it was just like a cool vampire movie.
So they didn't even sell it as a comic book. They just they had this Marvel thing in it, but they just sold it as like, hey, The Matrix is cool, right? Here's this Blade movie. And then they got a lot of money from that, and they made 3 of those, which...
they did make 3.
Yeah.
I forgot.
First one's great, and then
second one was okay.
Ask Patton Oswalt and Ryan Reynolds about 2 and 3.
No, about the third one, because the second one they had nothing to do with.
The third one is when...
shit went wild.
Wesley Snipes lost his damn mind.
Post-it notes.
Notes. He referred to himself only as Blade.
He would only be allowed to be referred to as Blade.
We'll talk about those 3 at a later time. But
I can't wait.
Marvel got successful with that picture. And then Marvel got successful
with X-Men in 2000.
With Men in Black.
Oh right, I forgot.
Yes. And then
That was 96.
yeah, it was like 90.
That's not. That's here's the thing with
Yeah.
Men in Black. It was basically the Ghostbusters of the 90s.
Yeah. So Men in Black comes out, that's a success. Blade is a come out of nowhere success for an R-rated, minority-led comic book character that no one heard of.
That has hyper violence.
Yeah, that's a huge hit. People love it because like Buffy was big and all that, so it hit at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Vampires and murdering vampires, especially, huge in the late 90s.
Right.
And then we all decided that we wanted to have sex with them in the 2000s. But
we'll get to that.
Hey, then comes X-Men in 99.
2000.
99, 2000. Marvel learns from Batman. It said, okay, we have all these X-Men characters. Let's just jump right into the MacArthur era. Like, get rid of these guys, which I don't like. I that should have been like that should have been movie 2.
Yeah, and
but hey, they don't do the costumes.
No, they go with strictly black. Even Magneto.
Yeah, everyone's in like black leather uniforms.
Maybe like a little bit of color.
Pretty grounded. I think that was more of a budget thing.
No, it was intentional.
Yeah,
they did not. They make a joke saying like, "What were you expecting? Yellow spandex?"
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that they A, didn't have the budget, and B, were like, okay,
we're not dressing these dudes.
I don't think people are gonna watch them if they're dressed like they're normally dressed.
Right. So I mean, have you seen the X-Men?
Yeah, I mean
they look absurd.
Yeah, they look like a clown circus, but dope.
They look dope as hell.
They'll probably have more closer to normal costumes in the obvious reboot that's coming any day now.
Yeah,
any day now. They're gonna announce that, I'm sure. So these are all successful Marvel projects.
And then comes the big one.
And then comes the huge one in 2001. Two. Sorry, 2002. Delayed because of
certain things.
Yeah. Here comes Spider-Man. A franchise IP that was so popular that Marvel sold it to Sony in just that one IP for like what, like $1 billion?
Yes, it was somewhere. I think the deal was like, if it wasn't $1 billion, it was damn near close.
Yeah, it was like
And it took them almost 20 years to make a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, it was oodles and oodles and noodles of cashola that they got, basically saving them from bankruptcy at this time.
Yeah,
really.
Basically.
And it shows, like you said, it shows an origin of the hero, origin of their villain. Okay. It's fun, but
and it's
serious.
colorful.
It's fun and colorful, but it's also pretty grounded in reality for the most part.
Yeah, like
it's not it's got comedy, but it's got heart.
Yeah,
it's got like you feel a whole gambit. It's a real movie. You feel emotions.
Yeah, like you watched the first Spider-Man at the time. Like I was like I knew who he was and all that, but I wasn't like big into it.
Yeah. Neither of us were huge Spider-Man fans.
Now we are
until this brought Spider-Man back into
the mainstream.
Yeah, because before that it was just the Fox shows and the '60s Spider-Man
and like those two and that like '70s show that he had.
Yeah, but like we'd never heard of because we didn't have the internet back then, really.
The funniest thing,
yeah,
I'll explain the story more later when we talk about Spider-Man. I knew what that was because I rented one of those movies thinking it was the Sam Raimi movie.
No, you didn't, you liar.
No, I'm dead serious.
Nope.
I rented it from Blockbuster.
Brian is a liar, but okay.
I am not lying. I found it on like VHS and I rented it.
Okay, all right, yeah, okay. And I filmed Italian Spider-Man. Okay, yeah,
sure. You did.
You were there. Now. All right, so 2002, huge blockbuster, and then again in Spider-Man 2 in 2004.
And that was more of a drama character piece where it took Spider-Man and it, no pun intended, dissected him.
Yes.
Where it's like, okay, this dude does not have a perfect life. This dude has failed relationships.
Yeah.
Behind on rent. Please insert rent joke here.
Yep.
His friendships are pretty much destroyed, and it was rough.
He was going through the elder millennial life cycle
in 2004.
Yeah. Like he's prime elder millennial Gen Xer life sucks mentality that we all still feel today.
In the same year, we also get X-Men 2.
Yeah.
Which also, like Spider-Man 2, it took itself very seriously, diving into social politics and all that, and more so than the first X-Men. So now superhero films are starting to change.
Yeah.
They're from before they were just goofy toy commercials for kids. Who cares? Now it's like, oh, you can actually say something. You can mean something with these.
They're treating these like comic books have been treated for the last 10 years or so in writing, and now the pop culture is seeing it, is that these aren't just like toy ads, they're serious. These are stories about people and tragic heroes and their problems as they're trying to save the kingdom, like they are the knight whose metal's been tested, and they're trying to slay the dragon to save the kingdom.
Whether that dragon flies on a green goblin thing or has metal arms or is an idiot in clown makeup.
Yeah. They're serious. They're like they're hitting they're funny. They're serious. They'll make you laugh. They'll make you cry. They'll make you root for the hero.
Mm-hmm.
They'll make you like mad at the villain. Like they're real fucking movies.
Yeah.
Like it's no longer just who gives a crap. Put a big name in it. Tobey Maguire at this point, he was a name, but he wasn't a huge name.
Like Christian Bale with Batman.
Hugh Jackman was a name, but he wasn't a huge. Like these are all names that weren't.
Patrick Stewart, I think, was the biggest name. In
the but I mean, at that point, he was like, "I'll do anything if you don't make me say beam me up, Scotty, or whatever."
He's like, "Look, is it Star Trek? No,
okay, I'll do it."
So now we get into the genesis of 2005's Batman Begins.
People want serious.
Mm-hmm.
They want action. They want adventure.
But they also wanted the crime drama aspect.
Yeah, they want the crime drama, like things like Law and Order have never been bigger at this point.
Yeah, it was NYPD Blue, Law and Order. I think The Shield was coming out,
and this is a post 9/11 America.
Yeah,
we're not edgy and sad like we were in the 90s, but that 2000s happiness was destroyed
pretty
quickly on a certain day. So we're now into the gritty, but not dirty and gritty and everything's got to be blood soaked and nightmarish,
which we'll get to that.
But we're trying stuff. I mean, hell, even the movie The Spirit would come out soon.
I was thinking like 07.
Yeah, that'd be in 07. The Green Hornet got a movie and didn't get a sequel for some reason, even though that did well.
That came out?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I remember that. I saw that movie.
Yeah, it's Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
I forgot all about it.
People want comic book movies now. Like this is the start of the comic book age. In just a few years, Marvel will start their thing, which will become they'll start with Iron Man, and then that will turn into the Avengers series, the MCU, which will impact this trilogy. We'll see
very heavily, very quickly.
So, any more?
Well, I guess we should dive into it. Do you want to start with how you learn about Batman Begins, or do you want me to start on how I learned about it? Because it did kind of come out of nowhere, the announcement.
Mine was, I was watching TV, probably Cartoon Network.
Was it that ABC Family commercial?
No.
I saw
this in theaters.
I saw it too.
I was watching like Cartoon Network, and they're like, "Hey, check this trailer out, Batman live action." I was like, "Oh, cool."
So with me, I was about 13 when it came out, and this is when I was really diving into Batman. Like I read a little bit about Hush, which was a big story in the early 2000s. It was kind of like a quasi soft reboot on Batman comics at the time. And so like everyone was like, it was a big mystery, like who is Hush, so on and so forth. So everyone was like, when are they going to do this in the movies? When are they going to actually do this and move away from Power from Bam and all that, Adam West and that had still kind of plagued Batman.
Yeah. Adam West at this time was still like pretending to be a crazy old man who couldn't like let go of being the Batman. And
that was kind of the joke. And then there was Michael Keaton, who was just like there. And then everyone else just kind of forgot about Val Kilmer and George Clooney.
Yeah.
Now, how I learned about my earliest memory of Batman Begins was I didn't really have like the internet wasn't like what it was today.
Yeah, like YouTube would just launch in 2005.
Yeah, so I don't think like it was out when Batman Begins was out. But
Yeah.
anyway, I remember a Game Informer magazine
Yeah.
had this picture of Batman in this new black suit that looked militarized, and he looked very serious, and his cape was over his shoulders, and he was in this cave, and it was the Batcave. And I wish I kept it because it was actually a really dope thing. It was talking about new Batman movie, new Batman game coming, which the game was great, but it was like, you know, they're actually it went into like, okay, we're the villains are Ra's al Ghul and the Scarecrow, which I didn't know who the hell Ra's al Ghul was at the time. I vaguely remembered him, I think, from the animated series in the 90s.
At this point, not a lot of people knew about that. Most
that was
people,
a deep cut.
Most people would know him now because
Arkham, Gotham.
Yeah, Arkham, Gotham. This movie, like
Arrow.
He's become a key focal point in pop culture now.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay,
because it's an easy way to get a bunch of ninjas for someone.
Yeah, like, okay, you need a ninja, bam, there's Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul, whichever you prefer.
Yeah, people still can't quite figure out which
it was, and there was like they wanted to go into like the crime aspects of him, like you're gonna see him as a detective, and it was so cool, and I was so excited. Movie comes out, I see it, I friggin' love it.
Yeah,
I still love it to this day.
Yeah, it's got some drawbacks, got some positives.
Yeah, it's got a lot of drawbacks. Katie Holmes.
No, she was fine.
I just feel like I can't.
I liked it. I mean, she
did good with what she had to do.
I don't think she wanted to be back in the sequel, obviously.
No, she did another movie called Money Heist.
Oh,
I was gonna say Money Plane.
I was about to say no.
She did Money Plane.
Oh God, we'll talk about Money Plane like right before we kill ourselves
with Grumble.
Yeah.
What was that dude's full name? It was like Darius Omega.
I don't know, but
some weird dumbass name.
Why does Frasier need to be in Money Plane? I don't understand.
Money Plane. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. So like, I remember seeing it in theaters, and it was like at the time there wasn't like a big push on it like there was like The Dark Knight in '89. So I think Warner Bros. Was kind of hesitant.
They were very hesitant because this wasn't going to be cartoonish slapstick.
Right. This is a movie for adults.
Yeah, this was going to be. It was. I think it was all. They were all PG-13.
Yes.
Pushing R, but still firmly in 13.
I think Batman and Robin is PG.
Yeah, these were PG-13.
Borderline R.
Yeah,
especially with The Dark Knight.
Yeah, very borderline R. They knew what to do. No one swears. I think that's what really saves them. And there's like no nudity at all. Like
I'm trying to remember if anyone even swear. I think they say like God and damn and
yeah, they don't. I mean, it's adult. It's adult dialogue without adult language. You know?
And the people who were behind the scenes, they were all like high tier people. You know, you have Hans Zimmer, you have Christopher Nolan, you have David Goyer, you have Wally Feister as the that's what I'm looking for.
Cinematographer.
Thank you.
Yeah. So like you have an amazing cinematographer, David S. Goyer, who cut his teeth. He's established. He's made his bones.
Yeah.
You have Christopher Nolan, who was still kind of an unknown, but Memento was like this huge success cult following thing. So they're like, okay, this guy's got a clear style.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. And somehow, despite not having that much work behind him, he's already a name.
Yeah.
Like, people know who Christopher Nolan was, and now they really know him. Because since this movie, everyone's clamoring to see whatever he's making.
Yeah, and I think, too, he was smart in, like, saying, like, okay, I don't want to do anything that they did before. No, I don't want to do any of it.
He likes to keep all of his movies grounded. No matter what like, it could be
a man who can fly.
It could be a man who can fly. It can be a guy who has wizard powers. it's going to be like if he did Doctor Strange, he'd
He would explain that it was like some sort of technology.
yeah, no, he'd explain that it's some sort of like science that we just don't understand.
Right,
you
right.
know?
Which is kind of like what Marvel did anyway.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, it's just the magical. It's like the resonance of this, blah 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 blah, magic.
So they do something in this movie. They don't start off with him being Batman already.
No, this is year one.
Literally year one. Like they start off, I think, in the first 20 minutes with his parents, right?
Yeah. So you want to just start?
Sure. I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to just jump in there.
Yeah, let's. I mean, yeah. So yeah, it's 2003. They start development of this.
Around here, it was 03, 04.
So they sing the success of all this Marvel stuff, and they said, okay, we can't do Batman and Robin again.
Hell no.
And Nolan's like, I got this. It's going to be grounded. We're going to explain everything pretty logically.
How he gets his suit.
That's what I like about that. They explain why he's doing it, how he's doing it.
Hell, they even explain why he chooses a bat.
Yeah, they choose why he's a bat. They show you how he gets all of his tech without someone immediately discovering it.
So yeah, they start the movie. They go. I think it doesn't start directly with his parents on a monorail.
It starts with his worldwide adventures into becoming it. He's not with his parents just yet.
Okay.
It starts out with he is in a, I'm gonna say, North Chinese prison.
Right. Yes, I forgot.
Border.
It starts off with like a flashback. Yeah.
Yeah. Where he like kicks the crap out of these guys.
Yeah. He's like very scrappy fighter.
Yeah, and like he's definitely not handling his own.
No, hell no.
He's scrappy. He's beating the crap out of them. Like, we're putting you in solitary confinement. He's like, but I was like, I don't need help. He's like, no.
For them.
We're keeping you away from them because you're kicking the crap out of them.
Like, what did they do to you?
And then Liam Neeson appears as
Ra's al Ghul.
No.
Well, Henry Ducard.
Henry Ducard, which I had to Google this guy. Henry Ducard is normally this. He's the guy who teaches Batman how to be a detective.
Correct. He wasn't like that. Kind of told me like, okay, we're really respecting Batman because Henry Ducard is not like a big character.
It's kind of a deep pull from
it's a
like
very
year
deep
one
pull,
stuff.
and I don't think he's brought up in year one. I think he was really kind of in like some small stories here and there.
Where he's the one who teaches Batman how to be a detective in Paris.
Yes. It was he was when he was living in Paris, and he met with Ducard, who was like this former Interpol guy, who was like the world's best agent at this.
Yeah, he taught you how to think like a villain, think like a criminal, and outsmart the criminal. Which is great for catching like people like Two-Face and whatnot.
Right, because you have to figure out why is Two-Face doing what he's doing.
Yeah. Not so much people like
Penguin
or the Joker. A lot more skills needed for that. So yeah, that's a deep pull. So you go, okay, and Liam Neeson kind of looks like that guy.
Yeah,
naturally.
I mean, naturally, yeah.
So you go, oh wait, this is League of Shadows. Okay, that's a deeper pull.
Which it's interesting to me because they're actually called the League of Assassins, but I think in the movies they didn't want to use the word assassin, so they use shadows instead.
It's probably one of those censorship things.
That's what I was thinking.
It's probably you can't say assassin. You have to do League of Shadows or else we have to put an R on that screen.
Yeah, because murder is obviously I think even said and shown and all that.
Yeah, certainly it's weird. Like standards and practices is such a weird thing. For movies and television. I mean, like when South Park they were trying really hard to get an R rating.
Mm-hmm. And they kept getting PG-13. Like, no, damn it!
And they're like, okay, so they're like, okay, here's all of these like obscenities and nudity and swear words.
Yeah, I remember. That's how I learned most of them.
And someone said, okay, you cut this and shorten this and PG-13. And they're like, really?
That's nuts.
It's like, I just got to cut 2 seconds in PG-13. What? So
it makes no sense.
The actual reason why, South Park's like, we'll talk about that. Like even why it's called Bigger, Longer, and Cut instead of South Park Goes to Hell has a reason.
Yeah,
you can't use hell in a movie title back then.
Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah, I think it's because of cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was some
as opposed to like a zombie with a hockey mask.
Yeah, there was some weird rule that says they can't use the word hell.
Okay, so
he's world traveling. He gets out of this Chinese prison and he climbs a mountain. This is clearly and it's shot beautifully. You can feel the cold in this because everything's blue. It's got color.
That and the flower he's looking for. Ra's al Ghul tasks him with finding this flower,
and it's a very blue flower. Not everything is dark and gritty, and this has got color. It's got warm colors when it needs warm colors, and cold colors when it wants to use cold colors.
And then when we're in Gotham,
too. Yeah, you can definitely see when it's in the nicer parts, it's a warmer tone. When it's in the the narrows and places, it's very cold.
Raining, it's grungy.
It's very blue colored lighting.
I remember a lot of tans.
Yeah, lots of tans. Nolan just likes tans and blues and stuff. All of his movies are very blue. He likes blue.
Yeah, whatever.
So this is a very stylistic movie off the bat. Much more mature and adult styles
than even 89.
Yeah, than 89 and all that, because 89 was very great for that era of Batman and that style of the matte painting. This is a more modern take of that. There's no matte paintings. We're going to show you the actual city, and instead of Gotham being a city that just never stopped being built, this Gotham's going to be clean lines, straight arrows. Everything looks nice and pristine on the surface, but underneath, that's where all the crime and the muck is.
Right.
So, Ra's al Ghul, he walks in with Ra's al Ghul and goes, "Oh, you made it!" And then Ra's al Ghul just stomps him into the ground.
He just beats him.
He just beats the crap
He's like,
out
"What
of
the fuck?"
He's like, "Dude, he's like, I'm not going to give you time to rest. Your enemy's not going to give you time to rest. Fight me."
All right, shit, damn.
It's like, Jesus, okay.
Give me 2 seconds to think.
The aesthetic here is much more modern. Really on the design now. There's barely any at all Art Deco in this.
Not really, which is fine.
It's only there because certain buildings
coincidentally
the reason why a lot of it was shot in Pittsburgh is because we have a hard Art Deco style and Gothic style in and around the city. Same with Chicago. That's why they used it, because it's still there, but it's not as strong as it would be in classic Batman architecture, which they kind of got away from in modern comics too, which is very sad.
The comics were starting to reflect a little bit of we're moving away from
which is why people really like the Arkham series, because the Art Deco's back, and that's really what gives Gotham its feeling. It's an Art Deco paradise.
I will say Gotham, I guess in a weird way, being a real place is both good and bad for the series, because Gotham kind of loses a character a little bit.
Yeah. So with this story, Roz beats the crap out of him and he fights back. He's like, "All right, cool. Time for you to become a ninja." I
love your paraphrasing. All right, cool. I'm just picturing Ra's al Ghul all right, cool. All right, champ, here's your ninja costume. Sorry, it just made me laugh.
So he goes through the training montage. He learns how to fight. He learns how to do all this ninja stuff, right?
And there's also we see aspects of his childhood.
Yeah. Wait, shoot. Does it start off there? No.
It starts off with him in the prison, but then it flashes back to his childhood. For a little bit.
Yeah, I forget. Yeah, so he's playing tag and hide and seek with
Rachel,
Katie Holmes' character.
Mm-hmm. And he falls down a well.
Yeah, he falls down like a well and gets attacked by bats.
which is like the first time he gets terrified and
Yeah.
he's cowering in fear. His father's rappelling down, and
Yeah.
I'm guessing Rachel's family worked for the Waynes as like housekeepers or something.
I think they were just a fellow rich family.
I think I don't know, but
Yeah, she seems like she's also an affluent
person.
Gothamite.
And Gothamite. I don't know why that always made me laugh.
That's
I know it's just whatever, but yeah. So like we get that, and we also get two. His parents' death is done differently.
Yes. We're actually we meet his parents.
We get to know them.
Yeah. Thomas Wayne saves Bruce. And you get this iconic shot of the camera looking up from the bottom of the well.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be reflected
in Batman versus Superman.
In all of them.
Yeah.
This is an iconic shot of him going down into this well and coming up basically as Batman in one way or another. He comes out changed. He comes out scared in the first time. He comes out the next time as Batman. Comes out next time as Batman Reborn. You know, it's an iconic shot that portrays a point of fear, an origin of fear.
Mm-hmm.
So he's getting montaged. He's learning how to fight. How to, you all right?
Yeah, sorry, just trying not to yawn.
He's learning how to use swords, how to hide in the shadows. Liam Neeson keeps kicking his ass.
I'm Qui-Gon Jinn, goddammit.
Yeah, telling him like, "Hey, your sword fighting's sloppy.
Let me show you how I got punked by Darth Maul."
He's like, "What are you afraid of?" And he's like, "I'm not afraid of shit." He's like, "Every man's afraid of something."
Pussy, you listen to me. You're afraid of something.
Yeah. So,
and then that's what we learned. He was afraid of bats.
Yeah. And we get to know, we don't get to really know his mom.
Not really, no.
We get to sort of know his dad.
What we learned about his dad is through a piece of conversation. I think they were going out to like a play.
Yeah, they're on like the
monorail that his family owns.
Yeah.
And he's like, do you work he's like, do you work there, Dad? He's like, no, I work in a hospital. This is the first time in Batman movies that we learned that his father was a doctor, which he was. He was a doctor. This was, I think, more in modern comics. As in Hush, this was a big deal. His father was a doctor named Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
I think in year one it was brought up a little bit that he was like a mob doctor at times. But we learned he was a doctor. They go see a play, and it's just like some weird ass play about like a bat creature or some shit.
So the original thing is it's usually they're
Mark Zorro.
They're either watching the Grey Ghost movie.
No, it was Beatos.
Or they're watching Mark of Zorro.
Yeah.
But because they can't get the rights to something like that.
Which is weird, because isn't Zorro public domain?
Depends. I mean, I think Warner Brothers owns Zorro, but
at the time they owned them.
Yeah, but I think
maybe they just want to be something different where it's like, okay.
I figured they said, screw it, we'll just make something else.
Well, because why would you... I can kind of see, like, well, realistically, why would you go through an alleyway after leaving a movie? Because that's not how that's set up. Now, a play, you can go through the back door. Sure, I can see that.
So, yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why they changed it from a movie to a play, is that it makes more sense that you go through a back door.
Yeah.
So this play, there's
like a bat creature.
There's some sort of creature that resembles the flapping of a bat, which brings back the trauma of Bruce seeing the bat.
He has like a panic attack.
Yeah, he has a panic attack, and they leave. So it helps with the idea that that Bruce is a scared child, and it helps with the idea that Bruce ultimately will blame himself for this incident. They leave the theater, and then here comes Joe Chill.
First time we see him, too.
Yeah, this is the first time Joe Chill is the one who is the trigger man in the series.
Mm-hmm.
The first time people know who Joe... Because most of the time, 90% of the time, people go, okay, Batman fans were killed. They don't know who killed them. Everyone always thinks that, like...
The Joker did it or something like that.
Most people always say that's why Batman's still out there, because he never found his killer's parents.
You mean the parent...
The guy who killed his parents.
Yeah, I had trouble with that too for some reason.
This isn't always true.
It's an interesting change.
It's a change that happens sometimes.
Yeah, like he never found his parents' killer and all that. I guess that would make him look incompetent, so they made it so that way he did find his parents' killer.
Yes, and this one's interesting. So Joe Chill kills his parents.
And it looked like really the way that they shoot it, no pun intended. It's not like Jack Napier where he just violently killed them. It was like it was
Yeah,
an accident.
yeah,
Because you see the fear on Joe's face.
like he's a guy in a bad place. He
Mm-hmm.
does not want to be a killer that day, but he quickly becomes a killer.
Of the two biggest names of the city.
Yeah, so it's to show you that like crime is not like there is no almost no people who are evil for the sake of evil. It's you do bad things because bad things
Happened to you.
happen to you. Um,
Joe Chill was desperate.
yeah, even the Joker is showing that in some way. Of like he's not pure evil. He had a bad day, and then
That spun him off
yeah.
into where he became.
So yeah. So his parents, die. His dad's telling him, "Don't be afraid." At least I think he said.
I think he said
Yeah.
something like that. Don't be afraid.
So the problem, one of the biggest cons with all Christopher Nolan films is the dialogue.
Yeah.
Is that he just loves making it so you can't hear a fucking thing anyone says.
Sometimes I have that problem, but I don't know. I didn't with this one.
I always have to watch all of his movies with subtitles. It is a notoriously bad thing about him and his audio engineering because he wants you to watch every movie he makes in IMAX theater.
Yeah.
Because when I watched Dark Knight Rises in IMAX, I had no trouble hearing every single word everyone said. But when I watched it at home entertainment, suddenly I'm having trouble.
With me, it's the fact that like everything, and this is the biggest problem I have with the next movie, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Every single thing is explained in dialogue to the point where it doesn't feel like it's natural conversation.
Yeah.
Like, Steve, you're wearing a black shirt because your blackness of your soul matches with whatever the fuck. Like,
yeah. Yeah. And you're wearing white to counterbalance
the darkness of my soul.
Yeah, you're hiding it where I'm revealing it. I'm okay with my darkness, but you haven't.
Meanwhile, I'm like, I'm Batman, you're Bane. We should be fighting. What the fuck are we doing? Having this conversation.
That he's doing that mostly because these movies are kind of long and people sort of just zone out.
I think what happens too is that people look at Batman as a black and white character.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand the logic of like, listen, there's more to
this. That's probably also feedback from this one where. One of the cons of this movie is that the plot's a little hard to follow at times.
Yeah, it's like, all right.
Like, you're not quite understanding
who's the main villain. Is it Scarecrow?
Yeah, you don't know exactly what everyone's doing all the time.
Is it Falcone?
Yeah. But you understand, you can follow along enough where it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. This is a fun ride.
Now, did you get to, so where are we now? Are we still at League of Shadows or are we at where Bruce Wayne dropped out of college?
So, yeah, I guess it's kind of hard to tell when all this takes place. I don't know if he's coming back post League of Shadows or if this is pre.
This is pre.
Okay,
so League of Shadows is modern day. Yeah, so everything else before that is pre.
Yeah, okay. That was something I couldn't quite, even in the 3 times I watched this, I couldn't quite piece it together until I went, oh, that haircut's supposed to be him in like as a 20-year-old.
Yeah, that like really awkwardly. Yeah. It's just a bad haircut.
Yeah, I guess they didn't have the budget to like really age him down.
Is this Christian Bale like swept front hair?
Christian Bale just has permanently looked like a 40-year-old man for like his entire career.
Yeah. Even when he was like Patrick Bateman when he was younger, I'm like, this dude's
older
like 42.
then.
He looks older as Patrick Bateman than he does as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, by like 10 years.
Yeah.
He looked like a 40-something-year-old man in that, who was trying to look like a 20-something-year-old,
Yeah.
But I guess that comes with the character. That's a stay tuned right there, guys.
Oh yeah, that is.
So we flash back again to years after this.
Mm-hmm.
We're skipping ahead around a little bit. So Bruce is back home from college. He's left Gotham for years.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to be in Gotham, so he's going to private schools. getting into fights there, going to college, and he decides, fuck college. At this
Man,
point.
fuck college. I'm
Yeah,
rich.
I guess he's back home from spring break. He might have graduated. I don't know.
I think they said like he bounced from
Yeah,
college.
which I mean, he probably got an online degree somewhere.
He's like, look, I went to fucking what was it, ITT Tech,
Yeah, or I don't know.
Phoenix College.
The reason why he's allowed to hold. I guess you don't need a degree if your family owns the business.
I mean, I'm sure you need a business degree, but in his situation, he was like an advisor, so I guess like not so much.
Yeah,
That's the problem with Bruce Wayne. It's like, what is his job?
yeah. What is his job, and what is his like level of on paper education? It's always
Right.
hard. But
I mean, on the comics, he went to college, he graduated, he is like, he's got like degrees in
he probably
chemistry,
could,
science.
I mean, he probably got like a scholar's thing real quick.
Yeah, he's a very intelligent, but the movies never really address.
Yeah, it's very great. Let's just assume that he got like a Rhodes Scholar thing later. So he's back home from university for the parole hearing of Joe Chill.
Right, where he plans on shooting him.
Yeah. So Falcone was his cellmate.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going to testify against Falcone.
So the way it worked was Joe Chill was cellmates with Carmine Falcone, who was a big, like, kind of like the Al Capone of Gotham.
Yeah.
Joe Chill was given secrets by not by Capone, by Falcone.
Yeah.
And Joe Chill made a plea deal where basically, okay, if I confess to the DA's office about the information I know, he gets paroled. Because in a way, it was a borderline, like, what, it was like Murder 2 or something, like, it wasn't like premeditated.
It was
he was trying to rob them.
It was a crime of passion, or no, not crime of passion.
Crime of opportunity.
Crime of opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't like go into that alley to kill anybody. He just needed some money.
He just wanted money, and it was a robbery gone wrong.
It went horribly wrong quick.
So obviously, Wayne goes, "No, that guy killed my mommy and daddy. Put him away forever."
Yeah. So he was going to go into the courtroom,
he was planning on killing him
with like a gun that he bought.
Yeah. He had a
snub nose,
like a snub nose 22 on him.
Which that's gonna take a couple of shots to finish the job, Bruce.
Nope.
Really?
Nope. Policeman and hitman special. You put a 22 in someone's brain, rattles around, and turns the brain to Swiss cheese. That's why Jack Ruby used it.
Damn.
Yeah. That's why it's called the detective special. That's why it wasn't snub nose, because it's a detective special. Most crime noir detectives, that's what they carried in their pocket. And their big detective man coat pockets.
Detective man.
Yeah, no, that's. I
love that. What's your superhero name? I'm Detective Man.
Yeah, they have the big raincoats. They kept a couple of those in there, and So he's about to do it as Joe Chill is about to walk free, and some woman comes up and goes, "Hey, message from Falcone, blam blam, Jack Ruby style, kills him."
Yeah.
And she's like immediately. Her ass is put on the fucking cement.
Like, you are done.
Like,
yeah.
Face, like, they're just putting her face
he meets up with Rachel, who she like realizes like what he was going to do, and she reacts appropriately, like, get the fuck out of my car.
Yeah, so like he's like, yeah, whatever, I was going to kill a scumbag, murder is fine, because he hasn't adopted his rule yet. He's still an angry kid.
Yeah. And she slaps the shit out of him.
She slaps the piss out of him.
And great job on Katie Holmes' acting, because you get this look of like, get the fuck out of...
She's like, oh, you want to see, like, oh, you think murder and all that? Here. She takes him down to the underground.
Yeah, like the Narrows, basically. Yeah,
basically the Narrows, where it's the city just built over top the homeless encampments. Like, look at any underpass in America, you'll see tent cities like this. And she takes him up. Yeah. So I have notes on this one. She takes him down to where Falcone is. He's got like this bar underneath there, and it's a bunch of dirty homeless people under there too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's underneath the city.
Yeah,
All right, there is
basically.
no skyline under here. All right,
No.
this is like because evil lives in the dark down here. All right, with the rats, and she has this line. All right, as long as he keeps the bad people rich and the good people scared, no one will touch him. All right, that's her understanding. That is good and evil. All right, the rich and the powerful can do whatever they want, and there's no sense of good or evil because they're rich and powerful. That's why we need someone like the Batman to break this status quo.
Like, it doesn't matter who you are, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. So I have notes on Joe Chill. Yeah, Bruce willing to kill Joe Kill is an interesting interpretation. It shows he doesn't immediately have the one rule. He didn't immediately choose to not kill. He decided to have self-control. Seeing Joe die brought nothing to his feeling of justice. Like Bruce watches, like he's about to kill this man, and then someone does it for him. And in that moment, he has an immediate realization that, oh, this would have not brought me an ounce of joy.
Which is funny that we mentioned this because we talked about that in Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Where he talked about, like, hey, I killed a man who killed my parents and I felt nothing.
Yeah, like a vengeance and revenge are two different things.
Very different things.
All right. Batman is not a revenger, he's an avenger. All right. He brings justice.
Mm-hmm.
He does not seek out personal, like, attacks for being slighted. You know?
Right.
This is what makes him different. You know, that's why they're called the Avengers, you know? Because they're fighting back for the little guy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Which, in this case, usually planet Earth and most of the Milky Way. But, you know, hey.
And, maybe a little bit of Orion's belt.
Yeah.
If we're feeling up for it that week.
Yeah. So, Rachel's speech on the crime system still rings true today. Most of this film especially, and the next one, well, actually, all three of these movies are very, very true of our feelings right then, because we were in the midst of a war.
Yeah.
In this country, and we were feeling a lot of economic stress. The '08 housing crisis and economic depression will happen right at the making of the next film. And then in the third film, it comes the 2012 Occupy Wall Street movement. And you can feel all of these things and the injustice and the feeling of capitalistic inequality in the country in these films. That's very present in this scene here, where Falcone is in his little dirt castle, all right, and he's the richest man, and he can't be stopped. And all around him, while he's eating steak, and there's a judge, and there's like
the
DA and all that, and all around them are these fucking homeless people that are like literally living in like tents, and they're looking at this and they're not doing a goddamn thing about it.
Nope.
So with that, Bruce goes in and he talks to Falcone.
Yeah, he tries to like intimidate him and shit like that.
Yeah, and he's like, I could fucking blast your head off right now, Mr. Rich Boy. While the DA and the judge is here, and I won't even flinch because they won't do a damn thing about it. It's like, you can't buy that power.
Yeah, and he has him like roughed up and thrown out.
Oh, yeah. And then he swaps coats with a homeless man?
Yeah, he gives his homeless man his coat, and I think what he's trying to do is like get a feeling for like what they feel.
I thought like he's like trying to switch coats because like people are chasing him, but I'm like, no one is chasing you.
Do they swap coats, or does he just give him his coat?
No, they swap coats.
I thought he just gave him his coat.
He swaps the coat.
I don't know.
I think because he feels like he's running away.
Probably.
I think it's implied that Falcone's like gonna like get his ass now.
Yeah, maybe.
So he immediately jumps on a boat.
And it's like pieces out.
Which that I mean not. It's kind of odd how Bruce gets beaten up by Falcone. So he just gets on the boat and fucking leaves. Like, it's a weird way to start the journey, but hey. So now we're back into the league and all that. Him becoming a league member is nice, and it kind of brings the idea of like the league is a symbol.
Right.
A symbol cannot be destroyed, cannot be broken. This gives him the idea of becoming the Batman. The Batman will be a symbol and an idea. All right? It'll become a meme in the mind of the many. And you can't destroy that.
I want you to repeat that sentence.
A meme is not what you think it is.
Okay.
A meme is a popular idea.
Okay. I was like,
not just a lolcat.
I thought you meant like a lolcat. I'm like,
yeah, no.
Wait,
no.
what?
That's why they call them memes.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah. So this is deep into psychology town now, okay? So Batman's getting Batmaned up, and then he comes back.
Well, before that,
Yeah.
he learns on his final test that he has to kill a farmer who stole, and what was it? Like the farmer
He killed the other guy for his land.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm not a killer, man. Like I'm not doing this. And Henry Ducard's like, well, go fuck yourself, go kill him.
Yeah. So he goes, nah, I got a better idea. And
kills everyone else.
yeah, he basically kills everyone else.
Yeah, it's a little bit like gray there. Like, hey, you just kind of blew up a ninja facility with a bunch of ninjas, and you killed the
you killed that farmer guy.
You killed. Well, no, he escaped.
Oh, well.
Remember his window? So the whole thing catches on fire. Batman helps him escape, or Bruce Wayne helps him escape. He gets Ducard. Ra's al Ghul died.
Yeah, the played by
Ken Watanabe.
Yeah, which
is such a waste of Ken Watanabe.
He's got like he's got like 3 words of dialogue.
He looks so cool as Ra's al Ghul. I'm like, you look awesome.
Wait, no, I think Ken was just a stand-in.
So, from what I understand, Ra's al Ghul is Liam Neeson.
Yes.
Okay. So but like the real Ra's al Ghul is just kind of like a symbol, I guess, or some shit.
I think he just uses
the name.
No, I think the mystic boss guy is kind of just his front.
Yeah, it's like a fake guy. It's like some dude.
Yeah,
like a dude, and I don't know. That dude was cool.
Okay, so yeah, the place gets blown up, and then Henry Ducard or Roz really.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not clear if he just took up the mantle because the guy was dead, or if he was just always that.
I think he was always that.
Yeah, that's what I think.
It was like Liam Neeson is like credited as Ra's al Ghul.
So yeah, like the place is burning down. Roz is like falling from the debris, and Bruce saves him.
With his cool Batman gauntlets.
Yeah, which we finally have a reason for why he's got the pointy bits on his gauntlets.
Yeah, they're kind of dope.
Yeah, they're to stop ninja swords.
I always liked that. Like, okay, where did he get the gauntlets from?
I'm wondering if that's a real thing or not.
I think it is. I've seen like suits of armor with similar things.
So, he's like, okay, I saved you. Let this guy know I saved him. Therefore, I'm better than him. And we'll find that will bite him in the ass in about an hour.
Yeah.
So he returns to Gotham. And
he's like pretty much now like, okay, I have a clear cut, solid.
Yeah, he's on the plane with Alfred, and he's like, hey, Alfred, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a few years since I decided to become a world traveling hobo.
But how was that, by the way?
He's like, oh, I learned what it means to steal for food. I never became like a real thief because I always just stole my own shit.
Yeah. I love that. He's just stealing.
Yeah, he's getting called a thief. He's like, I'm not a thief. My name's on the TV. And
my name's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. He's like, likely story.
No, legit.
He just pulls out his driver's license.
It's like, oh, what the fuck are you doing?
It's like, well, you're still going to go to jail.
Why? So, because fuck you.
Yeah, because I'm a dirty cop. That's why.
I don't know, man. I don't know what the legal proceedings are here.
So Alfred informs him, like, well, I had you pronounced dead. He's like, what? He's like, well, the company pronounced you dead. You've been gone for like 8 years, man.
What were you expecting?
Yeah. So yeah. Your company's not doing that great. Everything that you owned is now mine. It's like, yeah, good thing I made sure that I left everything to you. It's like, yeah, kind of weird since I'm your butler, but you know what? You can borrow the Porsche tonight. It's fine.
Gee, thanks.
Just make sure you fill it up before you come home.
Oh, and don't bring back any ladies.
Yeah, that's my castle mansion now.
What? Yeah, man. It's called Pennyworth Manor.
Yeah. It just fucking has like a...
He just swaps out the W for a P. It's literally called Pennyworth Manor.
Yeah.
It makes it sound like some weird ass haunted house.
Yeah. So he comes back and he's like, well, I need a job now. So, oh yeah, I have that company. Let's go take a look. And everyone's like, oh my God, he's alive.
And Rutger Hauer's like, oh shit.
Which I keep forgetting this is Rutger Hauer.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I keep thinking Rutger Hauer plays the guy who's not quite Bullock, but it's a completely different actor.
Yeah, that you're talking about Flass, who was a year one character.
Yeah. I like this Flass. No Bullock, but good enough.
Should have been Bullock.
Yeah, Bullock should have showed up later.
Oh, we also forgot to mention this in his childhood flashbacks. He met Gordon as a beat cop.
Yeah. The key important. It's a very important scene. Can't believe when he's in the police office after his parents are dead. Gordon comforts him. He gives him his joke. He gives him his coat. Tells him everything's gonna be all right.
Hey man, I got you.
He's the only friendly face the guy's got.
Yeah, because there's like reporters. There's all kinds of shit. And this little boy just lost his parents. And Gordon's like, let me in.
I kind of like it better in the Arkham Asylum game. You don't see it, but you hear it in the flashback, where it's like some cop is being a dick. He's like, oh, wow. He's going to cry home to his butler in his mansion. He's like,
Alfred's like, not Alfred.
Gordon's like, that is a child that just lost his parents.
You fucking dick.
Like, I will put you on frickin' like janitor duty for the rest of your career.
You want to direct traffic?
Yeah, like you want to direct traffic for the rest of your life? Shut up.
I will make that happen right now with just one sign off.
Yeah. So, he's back and he's in the company now, and so he's decided, okay, let's see what's going on with my company. Turns out they want to go public. Well, that's not good.
No, because that usually means you're like one step away from bankruptcy.
No. Going public usually means that you're going big time. Public trading means that now you're making lots more. Facebook didn't enter into the upper hundreds of billions until they went public. Like going public means that you're on the
Fortune 500.
Fortune 500 and on Wall Street, which will tie in to the later movies as they do go public. He does end up buying majority share of Wayne, like later in the movie, I guess.
He buys it at the end.
Yeah, in the end. So yeah, and this is where we meet Lucius.
Yeah, because he's like, why don't you head up our research and development?
He's
project?
like, yeah, it's here. Why don't you go hang out with like the accountant nerd, since you clearly don't have a college education. Why don't you go hang out with like the weird patent clerk?
Lucius Fox is like, I will burn this motherfucker down.
It's like, I will burn this down. This version of Lucius is
pretty cool.
It's very great interpretation, but it's kind of weirder because normally Lucius has a more commanding role in the company.
Not always. He did kind of start off as just like some basement dude, who's just like whatever.
Yeah.
And then Bruce later on was like, hey, you're actually like a really intelligent dude. Why are we not, utilizing you?
It's like, because I'm black. I go, oh.
I have nothing to do with that. I know, you stupid white boy.
Basically, because let's be honest, it's probably because he's black.
That, and he probably was there since like Thomas Wayne was there.
Yeah, so
and after Thomas died, he
yeah, a lot of people they just sit in their one spot for their entire careers and no one knows them.
No, because doesn't he mention that like he tried moving up, but like he just kept getting shot down?
Yeah, probably. It's probably racial. Let's be honest. Some of those guys on that
I hate
board.
saying it. Yeah, it might be that.
But I mean, hey, that adds character to like Bruce Wayne's get to clean this place up. You know,
Bruce is like, are you fucking serious with this?
Yeah. Brains over color.
Every time.
So Lucius Fox is like, hey, so yeah, we made a bunch of stuff for the military.
It kind of just went nowhere.
Yeah, it's like, why? It's like, well, we have this super suit, but it costs $300,000, and an 18-year-old's life isn't worth $300,000 to the U.S. military.
Is it though?
No, it's not. You're lucky that they give you a gun in the military. Really? If they had it their way, you'd charge the enemy with a bayonet.
Or a knife.
Yeah.
Or a toothpick.
Yeah. So he's like, well, I'll take that super suit to go spelunking. And
what kind of spelunking are you doing?
Don't worry about it. He's like, all right, that's cool.
Whatever.
Basically, he has the line of like, I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're like jerking off and all this. It's
leave me out.
You own all of this, as far as I'm concerned. Like all of this is just your.
Yeah,
toy.
he literally kind of tells me, like, you own all this, as far as I'm concerned.
It's like, as far as I'm concerned, this is your toy box, and I'm just allowed to like
give you it,
catalog it.
Yeah, so he spends his first night out, which is something we never saw before.
Yeah,
I think the only movie that ever touched upon like his first night out was Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah,
which not a lot of people saw.
Maybe the year one. You and me never actually watched year one.
No, I've seen it.
Oh yeah,
yeah, the animated movie, but that came out after Batman Begins.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is probably the first one that does that.
Yes, so in terms of like movies, it was Mask of the Phantasm, and then it was year one.
Yeah, which stay tuned for that. That's probably gonna be like
that's
probably gonna be like a 5-hour discussion.
Yeah, because there's so much in Mask of the Phantasm.
So, he learns about the Batmobile, which is called the Tumbler in this. It's definitely not a mobile.
So
this is a tank thing.
Yeah, I think, doesn't he like get the suit and the tumbler first, and then he does the other stuff later?
He gets the suit first, he'll get the car later.
Goes on his first night, where he's
basically got like a ski mask on.
He's got a ski mask on, he's got a harness, where he has a grapnel gun, and I forget exactly what happens, but he gets involved with Gordon.
Yeah, he basically goes to Gordon and goes, okay, so I know that some crime is going down in like the Narrows. Why haven't you stopped it? And he's got a stapler to his head.
No, he's got the grapnel gun to his head.
Oh, and Gordon's like, oh, this is it. This is how I go.
I'm getting killed by some weirdo in a ski mask.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, he never sees Batman face to face.
He's just like, oh god, there's a guy with a gun in the back of my head. He's like, yeah, we can't touch him because red tape and all this other bullshit.
He's like, you're a good cop, Gordon.
Now there's 2 of us on your team. And then he does the Batman thing where
what the fuck?
And where he leaves while Gordon's like in mid-sentence.
And he's just like, the fuck just happened?
He's like, oh, that's annoying. I hope that doesn't happen again. And
again.
Newsflash, it'll happen every time.
And he's just like,
I don't know where that was established.
I don't know either, but it's so fucking funny.
We've been doing it for like 20 years now, easily.
It's so funny.
But
we never get this relationship with Gordon and Batman before.
No.
I don't even think they share any screen time together until Returns.
They do not share screen time together
until Batman Returns.
Until Returns. And even then, majority of the time, his relationship with the Commissioner, for 90% of
Burton Schumacher,
and even Adam West, is like over the phone or video phone. It's usually video phone. It's usually some guy, like, he's being green screened onto, like, a TV.
Yeah.
Or, like, the world's shittiest Apple Watch. It is pretty dope for 97, you know.
I was like, all right, they were kind of getting their technology.
They knew what was coming. Because most of the stuff you see in, like, things like this, you just have to do quick Google searches of patents, and we've had this technology patented for years. Like iPads, Apple Watches, all of this tech, we've had in development since like the 80s. It's just getting there technology-wise. It's like, we knew how to do it, it's just doing it in a way that's cheap enough where we can sell it and it works.
Makes sense.
Like finding the right crystals.
So we also follow up more on Bruce's social life. This is where he plays up the "I am a idiot" Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, so this is where it's really deep in psychology, where he comes home and he's like really tired from like being up all night, and Alfred's like, well, listen, Bruce Wayne and Batman need to both exist. So
he's not Batman yet, remember?
Yeah, but he's like, you're gonna have to figure out good reasons for why you're always injured and you're never out during the day, and you're gonna have to make appearances as yourself, or people are gonna start getting suspicious about, hey, that weird recluse Bruce Wayne showed up, and then here's Batman. Huh, weird.
Right.
So, and you really see this happen really well throughout all three movies, especially in the sequel. Where
he disappears into what people think is a panic room.
Yeah, and it looks like he's like the biggest bitch coward ever.
Yeah, and
people are like, wow, like he could have
ran the
helped us,
fuck away,
and he iced us out for his own.
He's like, I see that clown dude, I'm out.
Yeah. So he decides he's going to be a millionaire, a billionaire playboy.
Mm-hmm. Like we see him with women, and they're playing in like this
they're
pool.
They're at the fancy hotel restaurant.
Yeah, and he's like, sir, they can't do. Oh, yes, they can, because I own the place.
No. He's like, I'm gonna have to kick you and your friends out here, because your $10 hookers are in like the water fountain here.
First of all, sir, they're $100 hookers.
Yeah, basically.
And second of all, I can do whatever the hell I want. I own this place.
It's like, no amount of money is going to make this okay. He's like, no. You don't understand. I'm your new boss now. And he hands him a check.
I love that.
He's like, I'm buying the building right now. And this is now a pool. Fuck you.
Just picturing Batman, like Bruce Wayne just saying, like, that's a public pool now, and fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much.
So then he gets the cape, and it was actually like what, a parachute was like memory cloth.
Yes. Basically, it can remember
shapes.
Yeah. So it there's logic.
Right. Like, it's not just like a giant leather cape. It was like cloth. Some people don't like the cape. I like it.
Yeah.
I get why you don't like. Some people don't like. It looks like a curtain kind of. I'm like, I don't know.
Wait, no, it's a magic curtain thing. Like this type of material really does exist.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly for like you're not paragliding.
Oh hell no, that can't carry
with this crap.
Weight.
But it's really good for like camera equipment.
Yeah. And the gloves will carry like an electric.
Yeah, it has like an electric current, so he's
thank you. I couldn't think of the word.
And it becomes a paragliding thing.
Mm-hmm. And this is when Lucius is like, "Okay, what the fuck are you doing?"
So you're deep sea diving, paragliding, night skydiving, whatever. I don't care.
Mr. Wayne,
if you're into dope, I don't care.
Mr. Wayne, whatever it is you're doing, leave me out of it.
He's like, I don't want to know. And if they ever put a gun to my head, I can always say, I don't know.
I don't know a damn thing. And homeboy just kept buying this shit off me. So now he is establishing himself as Batman. And he has like a mask, like a helmet that like...
Yeah. So in the same time, like they're showing, he's establishing himself as Bruce and as Batman.
Mm-hmm. He makes the batarangs.
Billionaire playboy, Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And they're both forming. He's figuring out how to do it. How to be a businessman by day, horny man by evening, and
Dark Avenger by night.
Dark Avenger by night, yeah. So like they're figuring out, okay, if I order 10,000 of these ear pieces for the mask from this company in China, and 10,000 of the cowl from this, and we hide it in the phone budget for the company, no one's gonna know.
Yeah, he basically was like, let's kind of move money around.
And then
they have this really funny montage of like them trying to test out the helmet. He's like, well, and they keep like hitting it with like a baseball bat and shit. So he keeps like trying to get like reinforced ones.
Yeah, he's like, well, this one sucks shit, but the next 10,000 will be up to standard, no problem. But in the meantime, don't get hit in the face.
He's like, just basically, don't get hit in the head.
And he's
finally,
like, well, yeah.
we get this great line
Yeah.
exchange from Alfred and Bruce. This is when Bruce is making the batarangs, and he's like literally making them, and
Yeah, he's got like an axe grinder.
yeah,
and
he's like so
he's sharpening them.
yeah, he is sharpening these things, which we never see him before do any of these, which is amazing. Alfred asks him, "Why bats, Master Bruce? Bats frighten me. I want my enemies to know my dread."
It's like, I want them to share my fear.
Yeah, and he throws it at the wall, and then we finally get like this shot of Batman, and the sequence at the docks.
Yep.
Is amazing.
Yeah, because it's definitely, this is a rough Batman, but he knows what he's doing.
Like, you see him just take out goon after goon, but like the audience doesn't follow Batman, we follow the goons.
Yeah, so as the goons are walking by, they're disappearing into the shadows.
Yeah.
You're hearing thumps and crashes, and the lights are going
Screams.
out. And you're just like,
we see this one dude just getting, who looks like Jim Caviezel.
Yeah, very Jim Caviezel looking.
We follow Jim Caviezel around. He's like shooting off his like guy. He's like, "Who's there? Who's there?" And finally he screams, "Where are you?" And Batman, full Arkham style, goes, "Here," and just grabs him.
Yep.
And that's it. Falcone and Flash are doing a deal down at the docks, and I think this was also when Batman ran into Flash earlier, and like,
yeah, Flash being in the role of Bullock kind of sucks, but
Bullock wasn't like this dirty though.
no,
Bullock was aggressive, but like he still followed
Bullock
the law.
was jaded, but not dirty.
Yeah, he's like, "Look, I'm
Like,
not the most perfect cop.
Like,
I am a
he's
cop."
He's in the grime because that's where the bad guys are.
Yeah, and he wants justice. Like
where Flash is like,
a
fuck
piece
it.
of shit.
Yeah, fuck
Flash
it.
is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And whereas the difference between Bullock and Flash is that Bullock is like, "Look, I'm old, I'm tired." Like Gotham had the best Bullock because that was like, I'm trying to do the right thing, but I have to work within.
But I don't want to get my head blown off either, so I'm keeping my nose down.
And a little bit nose candy.
Yeah.
So finally, Batman and Falcone. This is how Batman got tipped off about the docks and all that. Batman and Falcone meet, and it's a great scene because he's like, "What the hell are you?" Batman just literally punches through the fucking skylight, grabs him, and says to him, "I'm Batman."
Yeah. Which is like, hey,
he said
Batman
the thing.
Time. Yeah.
Sees the same homeless dude to him. He's like, "Nice coat."
He's like, wow, that's really kept up over the years.
It's like, damn, dude, I knew that stuff was
like, wait, you've been a homeless guy for like 10 years? What the hell?
But he just comes back, he's like, wait a minute, time out. Do you remember me?
No?
No?
I don't think I've ever seen you before.
Well, shh, who's going to believe me?
Yeah.
I'm actually that guy like 10 years ago you met. Yeah, so what the fuck? I don't know, I just can't get a job, man.
I don't know, man. I got severe alcoholism. Just can't shake it. It's like, oh, okay. So Batman did the ghost thing to Gordon. So I guess this is, almost perfectly he got away from him that time. I forgot to mention when he's asking Gordon about that stuff on the first night, he does not fully ghost him. He gets shot. Yeah, forgot about that. That's a nice touch that he doesn't do that ninja stuff perfectly yet.
Yeah, he's still learning all that. Like the docks goes pretty good for him because he was in like a kind of claustrophobic, wider area. We learn he also ties Falcone to a spotlight, which kind of creates a bat signal.
Yeah,
which we even get an explanation on the bat signal, dude.
Yeah.
That was kind of dope.
And this is a good scene because it shows that, like, okay, Batman just solved the biggest organized crime problem
bust of like all time
in a night because he didn't have any red tape. He had no bureaucracy. He just went in and he did it and he didn't kill anybody.
No, he didn't kill a single soul.
There's the evidence. There's your bad guys. Hey, look, the cops are clearly seeing. Oh, there's drugs in those teddy bears or whatever.
Yeah, it was like teddy bears. So it's like drugs.
Yeah.
And he's like, I did everything within the parameters of the law except for, beat the shit out of people.
So then, So then he's like, yeah, okay, I got to fake to being a playboy and an adrenaline junkie. And he's like, you got to learn how to play squash or something. He's like, God damn it. Okay.
He was like, I don't want to fucking do squash.
Yeah, or whatever.
I did that in high school.
Racquetball or whatever.
No, it was squash. He's like, God, I knew that one jackass from back in the day. All he did was squash.
Like, what is squash?
I don't know. Nobody knows what squash is. Even people who play it, they don't know what it is.
So then the kicker comes off, right? Like we meet Scarecrow. And
Yeah.
Rachel is working with like the DA.
She's also kind of dating him.
Um, we get does Dent show up in this?
No, Dent only shows up in the Dark Knight.
Okay, yeah. So like Rachel's like trying to get evidence against Falcone.
And then finally Batman beat them to it.
Yeah. So and then we meet Crane. He's helping with the drug smuggling in order to get his fear toxin
out on the streets.
And he's sending people like Victor Zsasz to
serial killer.
Arkham instead of, Blackgate where he belongs. Because when you're in Arkham, you can easily escape and you get a lot less time and there's no death penalty because you're crazy.
Mm-hmm. That and Crane has 24/7 monitoring on him.
Yep.
Sorry, really itchy eye.
Yeah, whereas with Blackgate, Zsasz would be like put on like the electrical chair as soon as you walked in the door.
Like, oh, what did you do? I kill people and then I caught myself.
It's like, well, I mean,
okay, you know what? We're just gonna.
I mean, to be fairness, he does show clear signs of insanity, but still,
Zsasz, I think even in real life would probably be put in a mental institution.
Yeah,
he's clearly out of his goddamn mind.
Yeah, but in the real world, the asylums and the prisons are one and the same because we can't figure out how to separate those two things.
Not really, no.
So she's the assistant DA now. Falcone tries to kill. So he gets sent. So Crane sends Falcone to
Arkham.
Because
Falcone's like claiming that he's crazy, so that way he can really just fake being crazy for a while.
And it's helping him with get all this crap for Scarecrow.
And this is also when Crane is like, my boss.
Yeah. Which is
Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
And Falcone's like, well, who the fuck's your boss? Why don't you tell him that, he's like trying to pull a wise side. Cillian Murphy does this amazing performance here. He's like,
yeah.
Would you like to see my mask? What?
It's like, the fuck? Oh, great. the
nut job runs the nut house. He goes,
yeah.
See these crazies? Well, to you, it may not look like much, but to these crazies, they can't stand it. He puts it on. He's like, well, when the hell you start this? He gasses him.
Yeah. And Falcone's completely gone. Like,
just
the biggest crime boss ever. The king of Gotham, taken out immediately. Like,
nothing.
Like it's nothing. And that's showing you that
Crane is...
Crane's a super villain. Right? Falcone is what the police's biggest fear is, and now there's something even worse.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder who the fuck is Crane working for.
Crane is a super villain, a terrorist. They're unorganized, organized crime, basically, like anarchists.
Which will then segue into the Joker.
Yeah,
in the next
movie. It'll segue into the Joker, Freeze, all of these big names that we.
Well, we never get Freeze. In this series.
Of course, we never get them, but it's the start of any of these people can happen, and then of course, Man-Bat could just show up.
Man-Bat's like, "Yo, it up."
Just like that's just.
Well, that's normal. That tracks.
I mean, that's just oopsie. Something happened in a laboratory somewhere.
I mean, it's just like, I don't know what that is.
But I probably gotta stop.
I ain't fucking with that.
Yeah,
that's a Superman problem. A what problem?
That's a Metropolis problem. Look, it's flying across the river.
Look, it's fine.
Look, it's going across the river.
It's going that way.
It's his problem.
It's east. There's not I don't cross the water.
Yeah.
Why do you have a bat boat? Shut the fuck up.
Because anything that hits this part of the water, that's me. After that, that's the red guy problem.
He just comes back. He's like, "Hey, asshole, this is yours."
No,
I don't want him. Keep him. Leave me alone. I have this green rock. Yeah, go ahead. Throw that green rock at me and see what happens. You're gonna get dealt with quick.
Oh god,
like an immature Batman.
That's my favorite thing is that I love it when they do that thing where Gotham and Metropolis are just across the fucking water from each other.
Joker just he's like, yeah,
90% of the time it's Bloodhaven's on the other side of the river.
Imagine Joker's trying to escape. He crosses a bridge and he's like,
welcome
He's like, fuck! He's like, wait a minute, I can't go that way because Batman's like right behind me, but I can't go that way because what if I kill Lois Lane?
No.
Nah, I feel like that's, and I feel like one
He
person
just starts gonna.
he like imagines like the whole injustice thing. He's like, that doesn't work for me.
No.
Okay, you know what? Fuck it. Gets out, surrenders. He's like, you know what? I'm out. I'm on my knees. I'm cool.
So, back to the
Man,
story.
Bat.
Back to the story.
This ain't your problem. This is a you problem.
So back to the story
Same
here.
with Killer Croc.
Yeah, like he just destroys the biggest crime boss, and that's a great idea. Rachel's now Gotham assistant attorney.
Because he
accuses Crane of
has gone missing.
Yeah, like she's accusing Crane, like she knows what's up. So Crane hires some goons to try and kill her. Batman stops it. He goes, "Hey, they're trying to kill you. Here's some evidence to stop them.
Yeah.
Watch your back. Also, put that gun down. That's gonna do nothing to me."
Yeah, she stuns him, and he literally is just like, really?
Yeah, like this
His
thing.
suit is like insulated.
It's just foam rubber, baby. You can't hurt me.
But if you want to, do something later.
Yeah. So
we also find out that the DA was found in the river with 2 slugs in the back of the head.
Oh yeah, I guess I kind of missed that part.
He's like only in the movie for like a little bit.
Yeah. So, Batman quickly realizes,
Rachel's at Arkham.
Yeah, Rachel's at Arkham. This is kind of where like the movie starts to get kind of hard to follow, because I'm like, wait, what's Crane doing? Why is he this? Like, what's going on?
So Crane is trying to cover his tracks from Ra's al Ghul, because Ra's al Ghul is probably like, okay, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
A device is stolen from Wayne Enterprises.
Yeah. So this device was made for the military, okay? Which I don't know why a private company that isn't someone like, Raytheon or Lockheed Martin is making a thing that can vaporize water for an entire area.
Explain why Oscorp was making a giant glider that threw bombs and missiles at people.
The glider thing, okay, that's like a drone thing.
And super soldiers.
Sure. Super soldiers, sure. Destroying an entire area's water, it's got to be against Geneva Convention.
You always bring that up.
Because you gotta...
It's a movie with a dude dressed as a bat.
If the U.S. was caught doing something like this, there would be so many... Like, we wouldn't be able to get nothing from nowhere. We'd be screwed.
We're the United States. No one's touching us.
Yeah. Our slogan is try and stop us. But still, it's stupid that...
Fuck around and find out is our slogan.
Yeah, it's just really dumb that Wayne Corp is making this super war crime machine.
Yeah, a little bit, because it's like you said, like, wait a minute. If you really want to get realistic, why?
Yeah, that gets taken. Falcone gets dealt with. Rachel gets attacked.
By Crane at Arkham and Batman. Well, actually, earlier, too, Batman ran into Crane, and he was gassed with the fear toxin. Remember?
Yeah. So, he runs into Crane for the first time, and he gets hit with the fear toxin.
Here's my advice. You need to lighten up.
Lights
him on fire.
Yes. So... Oh, but right before this, Batman talks to Gordon's son.
Oh, yeah.
Gives pep talk to a young King Joffrey.
Yeah, that's right. And he's like, none of the kids at school are going to believe me. He just gives him like a gadget.
You're the mad child king, so here's a batarang, go murder.
Hey, just okay, you want the school ass batarang?
Yeah. Go be in Game of Thrones. Goodbye.
I will enjoy you in Game of Thrones.
So, yeah, he meets him in, like, this, like, shitty motel.
Who, Crane?
Yeah, Crane.
Yeah, Crane was doing, like, a deal or something like that.
Yeah, and he's, like, looking at, like...
It was a trap set up for Batman.
Some weird, like, bullet holes and all that, and he's trying to figure out that. And then he gets lit on fire, which is the coolest scene in the film.
Yeah, because and also Crane had, like, a great line of, here's my professional advice, you need to lighten up.
Yeah. And he wasn't wearing the mask at that point.
No, he was.
Oh, he was wearing the mask. Yeah. So he gets fear toxined.
Which is then when Lucius is finally brought into the fold, and he's like, listen, I don't give a shit what this is.
But
next time, just tell me.
Yeah. So
just like let me in. Brother.
Anyways, I made an antidote because I'm Lucius Fox and I'm the master of it. So, Lucius Fox knows a lot more. He's a lot smarter and more of a Swiss Army man now than he was before. Because he was usually just a tech man.
He's like, no, I know shit.
Because before Batman, it's a little unbelievable in this world for Batman to have a master in criminology, forensic, chemistry, biochemistry, biology, to basically for him to have like 20 doctorates and a bunch of stuff.
Right.
So they're like, well, Lucius can be really smart and just like he'll be the supercomputer, basically. Which is a nice grounding. It works. It's believable. So yeah, Batman's no longer on fire. He's cured up. That's good, right?
He now has a cure for the fear toxin.
Yes. And then Rachel is kidnapped, right?
No, she goes to Arkham to try to like shake down Crane, and he traps her in there.
He's like, listen, like, look, like Falcone's not insane. He's like, look, he's muttering to himself and pissing himself. He's
trying to, and Crane's trying to not like start shit. He's like, look, you need to leave.
It's like, listen, these people are insane. Like, look, Falcone, yeah, it's weird that he had a mental breakdown with no prior mental illness right before his rap sheet.
But stuff happens.
But look, he's literally trying to eat his own like hand. So he's crazy.
So Rachel gets gassed, and finally Batman defeats the Scarecrow by gassing him, and he turns into this like monster bat.
Yeah. So he has this sick fight where
he just wrecks Scarecrow's goons.
Yeah. So like he goes through like the Arkham Asylum. Okay.
First time we see him do that.
He breaks through a wall in the Arkham Asylum through like some like two dudes like cell room.
Yeah, something like that.
To like get to the Scarecrow, and they're just looking at him like, and
all right, whatever.
They're just thinking like, oh, I guess my meds aren't working today.
Yeah, they kind of look at each other for a second like, you saw that, right? Yeah, man, I did.
like
fuck?
Are we both having an episode, or
was that real? Batman's like, I'm very real. And if either one of you escape, I will beat the fuck out of you. Okay.
Like, okay, not having a schizophrenic episode. Good
guy, relax. You sure you ain't like supposed to be in here?
It's like, I bet that's the thinking like, is he?
We're
like,
the crazy ones?
Is he their new cellmate? Because they should have told us before.
Is that Charlie from Cell C?
Yeah, like did Charlie and Cell C finally get a suit? Like what the hell?
Damn it! Who gave Charlie the stuff? What the fuck?
He's cornering Scarecrow, and Scarecrow's like, I have a genius idea. We'll call the cops.
Yeah.
Let's
call the police.
Yeah.
Let's swat the Batman.
He's like, what? He's like, yeah, we're swatting the Batman. like he's a Twitch streamer that we don't like.
But Batman's like, I want to fight the cops, but I have this cool bat device.
So yeah,
I gotta stop that. It's giving me a headache.
Rachel gets gassed.
Well, she's just having a grand old time.
Yeah. And then Crane gets gassed.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty like he gets taken down because he's not really a threat.
No, he's not a physical fighter. Like,
yeah, he's more of a you better stop me before things get bad kind of villain.
Yeah.
And he's like, give me the information I need to know. And Crane's got the bet. It's like, I'm sorry, Crane's not here right now, but you could leave a message and he'll come.
I'm sorry, Dr. Crane's not here right now, but would you like to leave a message?
Yeah.
Again, Cillian Murphy kind of steals every scene he's in.
Yeah.
Because he's so great.
Yeah. He was very
great cast as Scarecrow.
Yeah. For this interpretation of Scarecrow, for sure. I mean, like, they have him be, like, if they were trying to have him be, like, the scary boogeyman.
Of, like, Arkham Knight or something like that.
Or Beast-Hoss, then it
would have been too much Pretty Boy.
Yeah. Because, like, that's for,
an older guy, like a Robert Englund.
Yeah.
Oh, Robert Englund.
Yeah, but he's too old.
It don't matter.
Yeah,
he voiced Scarecrow.
A young Robert Englund would be
good. He voiced Scarecrow, you know.
I bet he did.
In Justice 2.
Yep.
He gets Rachel out
by using the bat
mobile.
No, the bat call.
Oh yeah. He calls like a bunch of bats.
And this is an established thing. Batman uses this every now and then.
Yeah. Actually, I think this movie established it.
Yeah, he hits a button and then like it summons a bunch of bats.
Yeah, it's like a sonar thing. So he has this little meeting with Gordon, and he's like, Crane's a piece of shit. Well, and she needs to get to a hospital. I'll take care of it. Well, take my car. I brought mine.
He's like, yeah, and the tumbler shows
He's just
up.
like, and Gordon just sees the drive by. He's like, hey, get me one of those.
It's like, I can order that, right?
I want that.
Yeah, that's
dope.
Yeah. No, I can use the budget for that. It's fine. Like,
I'll talk to
I got an
commissioner.
APC last week. I can get one of those too.
I don't know what that is, but I want it. So we had this amazing chase scene throughout Gotham.
Yeah. He's just like destroying cop cars.
He's going on rooftops, which is done way better in this movie than it was in Batman Forever.
Way more because like he's really destroying stuff.
Yeah. You get like the sense of, even though the tumbler's not my favorite, you get the sense of its power. You get the sense of
like this is a fast moving tank like hulking.
Yeah, and even the cops are not even sure what the hell they're looking
It's like
at.
it's a black
tank.
Yeah,
they're like, and they look at each other for a second, like
you'll see it. You'll know when you see it.
You sure? Yeah, dude, you can't. What do you think a guy named Batman drives?
Listen, you can't miss it. All right.
So he does evade them. He takes her back.
He fixes her up with the antidote.
And like pretty much just like kind of starts. He has like a moment where he doesn't say anything, but he takes his mask off.
Yeah.
And he's just like glad that like she's okay.
Yeah, and then Gordon's got another vial. He's like, here, mass produce this, inoculate all of your men, and then I don't know, like throw it in the drinking water.
Just to be safe.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen right away.
Yeah, no. We should probably mention Scarecrow's big plan here, and Ra's al Ghul's big plan, because he's revealed that his leader is Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
Scarecrow tells him that
Ra's al Ghul is dead.
Yeah, Ra's al Ghul is my boss. We're gonna use my fear toxin, flood all of the pipes in Gotham with this, and basically make the Purge Anarchy Forever movie with this.
And it'll be super dope.
Yeah, that's normally Scarecrow's plan. He's going.
I just want to drive the city crazy. That's all I want.
I'm gonna like put my fart gas everywhere and make everyone murder each other because everyone looks like a demon.
I mean, there's a cloudburst too.
Yeah.
So, oh god, I'll never fight that fucking thing again.
Oh yeah. As of recording this, about 2 days ago, we just beat Arkham Knight, and Brian's still a little worn out from all the tank fights in that game.
That game is so fucking exhausting.
So yeah,
fucking tank fight.
So Roz loads the
you're jumping ahead.
Yeah,
that's a bad thing. You gotta stop that. Anyway, so what happens is that Crane's like, Ra's al Ghul's my boss. Batman's like, well, Ra's al Ghul's dead. How the fuck can he be your boss? Blah blah blah. So Rachel is fine. She's taken back home by Bruce, and because it's not really easy to explain to someone who you've known since a child, hey, I dress up as a giant bat now.
It's a sex thing.
It's a weird sex thing. Don't judge me.
No.
I'm into a lot of kinky shit now. She's like, well, Bruce, if you want me to sleep with you, I'm not. You're not wearing that.
Yeah. So then they have a birthday party?
Yes, it's Bruce's birthday party.
This is a weird thing because like you feel like it's coming to the end, and then they kind of go, well, let's stop for like a little bit and add on to the movie. And here's a birthday
this is
party.
where they reintroduce Ra's al Ghul, and this woman who I actually thought was Elizabeth Saunders. It's not.
Yeah.
Who was Bob Kane's wife.
She looks a lot like.
It looks a lot like her, and I thought it was her.
But I'm like, she clearly would have been dead by now.
I don't think she is. She was significantly younger than Bob Kane.
She looked significantly older, though.
I don't know. Whatever. Woman introduces Bruce to a man. She goes, Ra's al Ghul, and Liam Neeson just bows his head. He's like, dude,
close enough, lady.
He's like, I'll kill you last.
It's like, thank you, madam. And I got to say, Liam Neeson is giving a very different performance than normal. Even in his movies that he'll like Taken and all that.
Yeah,
he kind of phones it in.
Here he actually
like. I think it's because
you're talking about Taken or here,
like Taken and like a lot of his movies. But I think he knows those are crap movies, and this one he's like, well, I'm gonna get to work with Bale and Oldman,
Nolan and all that,
and like it's like this is a very
Oh, sorry.
Like, yeah, it's a comic book thing, but like,
It's taken seriously.
we're taking it serious. I'll give it, and it's a good character.
He does pretty good.
I think he's enjoying the character rather than just like some tough old dad.
Well, he's smiling a lot. He's smirking a lot. He's not eating the scenery like how the Burton Schumacher villains were.
No, none of the villain, nobody in these movies
eats scenery.
Eats scenery.
Well, except for maybe Bane.
No. Even his character's a little extreme, but that was more due to the time it was made rather than any performance in that. Like, no one's eating scenery, no one's overstepping, no one's becoming an insane wacky pants. Everyone is like a credible, terrifying threat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I like about this. Like, unlike, say, Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin.
Until, like, No Way Home.
Yeah, like, in those movies, he was intimidating because he was, like, an actual insane person.
Yes.
Like, yeah, he's chewing the scenery a little bit, but, like, it's...
He's also criminally insane.
Yeah, but it's because he's an unhinged maniac rather than, like, crapping on, like, the movie he's in.
Like Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey were.
Which, I want to course correct something from our earlier Batman and Robin, okay? Or Forever, okay? In that, Tommy Lee Jones shits on Jim Carrey's performance. And he does not like it. And I credit it to, he has to match Carrey's performance in that, right?
Right.
Well, what I forgot was just a year before this, he was in a movie called Blown Away.
Okay.
People don't remember this movie because it came out 3 weeks after Speed.
Okay.
Okay, Blown Away is about IRA members coming to America and blowing things up. And in this movie, Tommy Lee Jones is playing a crazy ham monster that, like, is on par with Jim Carrey. So there's no reason for him to have hated Jim Carrey because he gave that same exact type of performance just a year before. So I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Yeah,
I think Tommy just wanted to be a dick.
Yeah, I think maybe he was just having a bad day. I don't know. So back to this. They're at the birthday party. And
Ra's al Ghul finally
Ra's al Ghul shows up. He's like, hey, I'm here to fucking destroy the city like I said I was. It's like, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't have saved you then.
Nope.
Like, nope, you screwed up there, buddy.
So how does the house get lit on fire? I can't remember.
Also, why did he... Oh, yeah, yeah, never mind. I answered my own question. How does the house get... He sets it on fire.
Okay. Yeah, like he's like, let these people leave and all that. And Bruce just tells everyone, get out. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, he's like, hey, thanks for coming in here and being parasite
and
moochers.
Drinking my booze.
He's like,
get out.
He's drunk. No, get out. Get the hell out. I'm a drunken, selfish frat boy. Get out. It was like,
fuck all of you.
Yeah.
Fuck you too. Get out.
Yeah. Which I was like, okay, what? Okay, this is smart.
Get everyone out of the house.
Yeah, it's a way to get everyone out. Yeah, it's going to make people pissed off at him, but he'll just go on a press conference later and say, oh, I'm sorry.
I was drunk. I was going through stuff.
Drunk. I was still sad about my parents.
He can always play a parents card too.
He can always be like, "Hey, Alfred tried, but like he's just my butler. You try having just your butler raised you.
You try seeing your parents get gunned down. Fuck you."
Yeah. Gets everyone out, and Roz is like, "Cool, torch this place." And I'm sorry, but why is it every time a villain gets into his house, their immediate thought is, burn it?
Because why not?
Like, I can understand trash it, rob it. It's always burn it.
It wasn't like that with Forever.
Yeah, they wanted to burn that place down a bit.
No, they went to blow up the Batcave. It's a little bit different.
It's still burning it down, man.
I get. Well, I don't know. Destroying his shit. Well, either way, it's destroying his shit.
Yeah. So, anyways, the Batcave's destroyed.
Not the Batcave. The manor.
The manor's destroyed.
Alfred manages to get Wayne to the emergency elevator.
So that's kind of the thing, is that like they destroy the manor, which I guess they're like, well, we want to make a better manor later.
Mm-hmm.
More Batman-y, which kind of impacts these other movies later, because in the sequel, he's in a temporary location.
So that was actually in the comics for a long time. That he was living in actually Wayne Tower and not Wayne Manor. And he was using Wayne Tower as like underground as a secondary Batcave.
Back to this. It's burnt down, and it's like, well, that's all right. We'll just rebuild that. It's not like it's in 1800s cobblestone that, the masonry techniques are all people are dead and no one knows how to make this anymore.
We got money.
Don't worry, we have money. We'll just get another one from England or something.
We'll just ship it.
Honest to God, people have done that.
I know. I've heard of it.
Like, people have, like, piece by stone. It's crazy. Rich people
are nuts.
Yeah. So, Ra's al Ghul takes the microwave emitter to Wayne Enterprise. He's going to vaporize all the water.
He's going to use the monorail system to do it, right?
Yeah, he's using the monorail system to do it, which is extra salt in the wound because that's Daddy Wayne's monorail system. And, okay, yeah, wait, before this, I'm sorry. I got to bring this up. House is on fire. A log falls down on Bruce. Or is it Alfred?
Well, it was Bruce. It was Bruce.
Okay. And Alfred's got to help him get up. And he's got the best line. All those fucking push-ups and you can't take care of one log?
And he just looks at him like, shut the fuck up.
Hey, it's on my back, man. Come on. It's on fire.
All those bloody push-ups and you can't deal with one log.
Yeah, like, seriously. Probably, like, the funniest joke in the whole thing.
It's seriously, and Michael Caine delivers it so perfectly.
Why do I have a we'll get back to that. Yeah, so he's gonna evaporate all the water, throw the gas into all the pipes, cause chaos, cause everyone to burn everything down.
Meanwhile, Arkham Asylum is let free.
Yeah, so all the crazies are out.
Including Crane.
Yeah, so they, like, basically, all the cops were like, okay, isolate everything.
To the Narrows.
Yeah. So they shut all the water pipes down and cut off all the bridges. So Batman's got basically a small point of which he's got the bad guy trapped, so he can fight him.
Right. So basically, what happens is that they narrow down, they lock off the Narrows, and Crane, is like, Rachel's there because what happens is that Batman and Rachel meet up. Like, I forget exactly how they meet. I think he just kind of like rescued her from like Zaz or whatever, and he says to her, she's like, "Hey, look, if you're at least gonna like save me like twice, can you at least tell me your name?" He says, "Instead, it's not who I am underneath, but it's what I do that defines me." And she's like, "Get the fuck out of here," because that's something that she told Bruce.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Bruce?" And he's just like, "Oh, shit."
He's like, "Gotta go!"
He's like, "Oh, you weren't supposed to remember that."
Yeah, so he's on the monorail. They have a fight. Batman rescues Rachel from a drugged mob.
And Scarecrow.
And Scarecrow.
And Zaz, too.
Yeah. Zaz is kind of just there.
You don't know it's Zaz until you watch the credits.
So Gordon uses the tumblers to destroy a section of the track.
He's having a blast.
Oh, yeah. He's like, oh, this is
this is great. I need to get this in the police budget.
So they're fighting on the monorail, and Batman's like, I don't got to save you. I'm not going to kill you.
But I'm not to save you.
Yeah, not going to save you, which is the same as killing him.
Yeah. Roz finally asks him, "Have you finally learned to do what is necessary?" "I won't kill you."
I'm not going to save you.
I'm not going to save you.
Hey, I'm not the one breaking your neck. Gravity will be the one breaking your neck.
Actually, it'll be the explosion.
So Raz gets destroyed.
The monorail crashes into an empty parking lot.
Yeah. I don't remember why.
Basically because it was switched on the tracks.
Yeah, no, I know that part, but I have in my notes, once again, the biggest threat to a villain are tasers. I don't
Scarecrow.
Oh,
Scarecrow.
yeah,
she tased him.
She tased
He's like,
him.
he's having his moment, like riding a horse and looking really fucking cool.
Right.
He looks super cool.
Right.
Like his straight jacket and all that, and the mask. And
right.
He's like,
and then in
there's nothing to fear but fear itself.
Right. And Catwoman kills someone with a taser
in Returns.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. That's a good call. That's kind of like an incidental callback.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it's intentional because again they wanted to get away from all those.
Yeah. So the day is saved, and Rachel gains Bruce gains Rachel's respect and love, but she's like, I can't be with you because you're the Batman.
And you might die like tomorrow.
Yeah. So once you're no longer the Batman, we can hook up. But until then, hey, keep my number.
We can be besties.
Batman becomes a public hero. And Wayne Enterprises goes public.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Bruce walks in and goes, hey, yeah, I know I couldn't stop it from going public. So, I just bought majority share.
And you're out, Rutger Hauer.
Yeah, Rutger Hauer, there's the door. Didn't you get the memo? Because earlier in the movie...
Yeah, he made Lucius the CEO.
Lucius gets fired because he's like, screw all this R&D crap.
Mm-hmm.
All right? I'm not funding the Batman. Because I think Rutger Hauer's character was also in cahoots somehow.
Rutger Hauer's just being a dick.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm firing you. Didn't you get the memo? So then Lucius is like, I'm firing you. Don't you get the memo? You racist piece of crap. He's like, what? It's like, listen, look at this board. I'm the only black guy on here. Clearly this is a diversity issue. Get out.
You want me to talk to a lawyer? No.
No. I'm out. I'm gone.
That's what I thought,
gone.
motherfucker.
Exactly. He's like, yeah. There's a bat signal. Gordon
is promoted
to lieutenant. He will become commissioner in the next one, I believe.
Yes.
After certain events. Oh, we actually do meet the
commissioner, Jillian Loeb.
Yeah.
First time we see him.
Yeah, and he's a black guy.
Yeah. He's just kind of there. It's implied he's a little bit corrupt on the take. Like he's aware of Flash is a piece of shit. And he doesn't care.
So yeah, we actually meet him in the flashback. So he was Captain Loeb, and then he's Commissioner Loeb in the next one, and then
and he's Commissioner in Batman Begins too.
Yeah.
So Gordon and Bruce, Gordon and Batman are talking. Classic scene, they're on a rooftop talking.
He's like, listen, man, maybe you can help us with another problem. Some guy in makeup's been doing some stuff, and he keeps leading this playing card, and it's just a Joker
card. So
Joker bicycle card.
The way the conversation they actually have is, they talk about escalation. He's like, well, you start wearing Kevlar, they get armor-piercing rounds.
Yeah,
you're wearing a mask and jumping off rooftops. Take a look at this guy. Armed robbery, double homicide, has a taste for the theatrical, like you.
Yep.
Leaves a calling card and the Joker card, and everyone lost their shit. Like, ah.
Yeah. Because
then everyone was like, how the fuck are they going to do the Joker?
Yeah, in this type of because like. And then we've done a realistic grounded Joker twice now. So
yeah, from two very different versions.
Yeah. That's the main plot and roll through. Took us a while to get through, but
just because there's a lot that happens.
Is the
longest Batman?
No. The longest one will probably be Batman
versus Superman, I think.
Yes, or probably the third one.
Rises?
Rises is probably the longest.
I distinctly remember that being pretty long.
Like, that one is almost 3 hours, I think.
It was...
Yeah. These are all pretty long, though.
I think Night's the one that's the most tight.
I've said this before, but a lot of people are complaining that, like, they're saying superhero movies are getting too long of being, like, 2 hours, but most of them are hitting the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
Even back in like the 80s, they're all hitting.
I think like Superman was like almost 2 hours. The original Superman.
Yeah.
There's like 15 minutes, like 15 to 20 minutes on fucking Krypton.
Yeah. And unlike other ones, I don't feel like anything should have been cut out from this.
Yeah, I mean everything's pretty much tight, compact. Nothing really changed from inception of it.
Inception. The story flows pretty well. It hits all the beats it needs to hit. The only problem I have with these films is the goddamn audio. Is I can't hear anybody.
Yeah.
And some stuff is over-explained, and some things are under-explained.
I could have done with a little bit more Crane.
Yeah, he kind of is just sort of there.
He's good. I mean, he's really
you
good.
could have really almost taken him out of the movie, and it wouldn't have affected
Too much.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have to explain the fear toxin, but
you could have literally had it just been like
it was something Raish came up with, or Roz,
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck you want to call him. I prefer Raish, but that's just me.
yeah. So
Batman Begins. You want to talk about the suit at all? Because I know we talked about the other ones.
Moy, I gotta tell you, man, you have a real thing for like hero
do.
costumes.
I don't like the fact that
I like the suit. It's a great like starter suit.
I like it a lot.
It's very realistic. It feels like something a billionaire super soldier would be wearing.
And I don't like is Crane and wearing like a suit.
I think it's because I know that they played around with ideas of him having a full getup. But
I get that would probably be like a little too much.
Yeah, and I guess they feel like, well, it'd probably be easier if he just had the mask. That way he could just keep in his briefcase.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I never really thought of it. I do like the little outfit he has at the end with like the straitjacket though. I thought that looked really cool.
I think they would have gone more with it had he been more of a recurring character.
In the next one he's in it. He's just back to his suit.
Yeah. They might have thought, hey, maybe we should do more, but like, it seems like maybe some stuff got more rewritten.
Yeah.
And maybe he was more of a last minute entry.
I felt like he was last minute in Rises.
Yeah. He is back to the suit. He's in all three of these. I kind of forget that. That is something that's interesting, that he's in all three.
Yeah, which is probably more screen time than any Batman villain.
Yeah.
If you think about it, Scarecrow's been in 3 movies.
Yeah.
Like back to back to back.
And he probably could have had a more defined
mask.
No, the costume, but I guess they wanted to be more grounded.
Yeah.
They didn't want to get too theatrical because nobody in these games.
Movies.
Sorry, we've been playing a lot of Arkham lately. Is too outside of the norm. Like in the games, everything's fairly grounded.
But then you have like Scarecrow, who's got like a fucking Scarecrow mask to his, like sewed onto his face.
Yeah, but like even then, like the main design for all three of his versions are fairly grounded in reality.
Yeah.
But I guess they wanted to keep with the suit motif. That way, it'd be easier for him to just blend in and out of society.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, if you wanted like to do like something with him where he
then
like,
it's probably easier for him to quick escape into like a crowd.
Yeah,
because he's just some dude in the suit,
like a shitty looking suit, but a suit.
It's a respectable suit.
What did you think? So I mean, I do think it's funny because if you really think about it, this movie has like 3 to 4 villains, right? But it handles them all very well.
Yeah, like
Ra's al Ghul, Carmine Falcone, Scarecrow. I guess Zaz, if he counts.
Yeah.
Okay. So it has 3 villains again, but it does it each one very well.
Yeah,
and they're all tied in together.
Falcone is a good base. He's like, hey, this is what you're used to. This is organized crime. This is nothing anymore with Batman being introduced. Now here's real threats. Hyper super soldier assassins and like crazy dudes with like
fear gas.
Like chemicals and anarchy. Like things that break the status quo. Gotham itself. I broke some stuff down, some notes. Okay, yeah. Colors. Yeah, lots of blues, greens, dark blacks. Nice yellow and reds for warmth, good balance. Nolan knows his colors. Mm-hmm. He's using color balance appropriately. There's no big spotlight crap. There's no neon colors.
Yeah, we've moved away from like treating Gotham like a theater. Like, as much as I love the '89 Gotham,
yeah, it
doesn't make any sense.
It's no longer theatrical. The city is grounded. It's clean lines. Not a lot of Art Deco, if any, um, which does kind of make all the set designs very boring.
In a way, yeah. I mean, I like. It's funny because I'm pretty sure they filmed all three of these movies, minus the third one, because the third one did have Pittsburgh. The other two did not.
It's 90% Chicago.
It was like 90% Chicago, and I think a little bit of Edinburgh.
Yeah, Edinburgh, Chicago,
Detroit?
A little bit of Detroit, I think.
I think for more than Narrows. I'm sorry, Detroit's a piece of shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, so a lot of films are filmed in Detroit now because like you can just block off whole city blocks that are empty and use them as like
nobody gives a fuck
because they're empty.
Yeah,
like they're abandoned parts of the city. Detroit's come a long way though.
I don't know, man. I feel like we're getting closer and closer to RoboCop.
No, in the last 10 years, a lot of places have come back from the brink.
That's good.
It's yeah, like even like the little bit of changes in color. Yeah, the characters are pretty realistic.
Especially especially with like Ra's al Ghul, who in the comics is not realistic at all.
No, he's like a weird like. Isn't he depicted as like a weird like Manchurian type?
Yes, so he's usually immortal. So I guess the way that their movies explain it was, that's why I think like the name is a title.
Yeah, I think that's what they were trying to go for, and it does not
really translate well.
Or
like audiences don't pick up on it
because we'll see that like his Lazarus pit and his immortality later is not that he lives forever, is that he's got a legacy, he's got children.
Yeah. Which, I don't know, I like the idea better that, like, okay, Ken Watanabe was Ra's al Ghul. He died. And his second in command, Henry Ducard, becomes the next Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. It's stupid, but it works. And
it's a very stupid idea, but I can see it.
It's grounded in reality. It works. It's a title. It's fine. They could have just said that, and I would have accepted that. But
I'd be like, all right, that's a little bit dumb, but okay, whatever. I mean, it makes sense though. We do get some of the fighting isn't that greatly filmed. It's very quick cut. You can't really tell what the fuck is happening.
So that's actually a good thing.
Really,
so
you like
let me talk about this fighting versus other stuff. So this was during the time of the late 2000s when we learned about the fast cut. Okay, the fast cut on action. To really show that punches are hitting hard, everything's hitting fast. Like, Batman is moving quick. He's hitting hard. He's dropping these people, and he's moving on to the next guy quick. All right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not a slow brawler. He's like this demon that comes through the room and everyone's gone, you know? It is hard to see everything, but that's because you're supposed to be just as confused as the guy that's getting hit.
I think the worst part of it is when he's fighting the ninjas and the Narrows.
Yeah.
That's the worst part of it.
They'll later change that in the next two.
Yeah, and in the next movie, the problem with the next movie is that he fights too stiff at times. Like, so I get it's hard. Like, I get what they want to do. They want to do kind of like
to be fair,
nothing tops that warehouse scene.
Yeah. Nolan is his type of action is shooting guns, not
fighting.
Fist fighting.
Yeah.
But this is like still that he's doing what is best in the era that it's being filmed. Now, later on, we're getting back to kind of we're looking more into the how like Japanese style or Eastern style films are made, where like you're showing every action twice for impact. Or you're showing it slow and uncut. Like, back in the day, there's this very famous scene from Oldboy.
Okay.
Called the hallway scene.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Where the guy gets out of this hotel room he's been trapped in for years. And there's this really long hotel hallway. Full of dudes. And you just watch that camera as he's...
Like Daredevil did it.
Yeah, the Daredevil does this in its show in I want to say 2014, 20,
somewhere around there.
2016? Somewhere around
The
there.
Netflix Daredevil show.
Yeah. Your 2010s cuts. That's the more modern take, is that we're showing it. We're not cutting away from it. You're watching a guy fight and fight fast. We're not cutting away. The worst type of stuff is look at Taken 2.
I don't even remember Taken 2.
Yeah, no one does. Watching Liam Neeson, who, of course, let's be honest, he's a very old man at that point.
He can't fight.
Go up a fucking chain link fence.
That was Taken 3.
That's Taken 3. There's like 55,000 cuts.
I gotta show you later Bruce Willis's talking double in one of his movies.
I've seen that. Yeah. No.
I'll take you anytime, punk.
Oh yeah. So I think Bruce Willis lost all of his money. So this year the Razzie Awards had a
worst Bruce Willis performance.
Yeah, they have a section just for him because he's in just a bunch of crap for what I can only establish is beer money.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, Christopher Walken's like that, but he just likes working.
He's just like, fuck it, I'll do whatever. You want me to play a weird, crazy pants, hanging out with a penguin man? Sure.
Yeah, he's in movies you'll never see. Like, you will never see these movies, and he's in them. Like Bugs 5.
So yeah, like I do like how like he is supposed to be faster, and he's much faster than all of the previous ones. Keaton,
yes.
Kilmer, Clooney. What do you think of Christian's performance as Batman?
As Batman and Bruce Wayne, it's perfect.
Yeah.
There's flaws.
It's that voice.
The voice I understand because it's a way to. It's a choice, and it works.
I mean, Keaton did like a slightly lower tone. Like a lot of people say, he just sounds like him saying, "I'm Batman." You know, like
yeah, I'm Batman. But instead,
whispering.
Yeah, he's whispering it.
Almost very Creature of the Night sort of.
Yeah, Creature of the Night. Whereas Bale is being a more demon. Where are they?
Yeah.
And this is it's a choice and it works.
Gotta hear his voice though.
Oh yeah, no. He doesn't like doing that type of character anymore. His performances are like pretty insane. Because
he's very good as Bruce and as Batman. This is his best performance as Batman.
Yeah.
And I feel like in the next two movies, it's not that he's funny and he just gets overshadowed.
Yes.
Well, Rises, I think he's funny in.
This one, it's very good. The next one, he's a bit overshadowed, and then the third one, something must have happened because that's the weakest one, and it seems like everyone is trying to do something, and things are just not coming together right.
Right.
So something happened to that, but like his performance is very good as both Bruce and like I believe him as a billionaire playboy because of course he was in American Psycho,
where he's basically like a psychotic Bruce Wayne.
Like it's like
more psychotic Bruce Wayne.
No, like an actual psychotic Bruce Wayne. Bruce is not psychotic in any way. He's a very interesting psychological case. I will give you that, but he's not psycho.
The man actively chooses to dress up as a bat.
Yeah, but so do you.
I wear my Batman PJs, but I don't wear them outside the house.
You did when we went to Walmart last week.
Well, that's because everyone wears their PJs at Walmart.
Yeah,
it's fucking normal.
That's true.
No one judges.
That's why I like to go there at 3 a.m. in a suit to feel better.
And then you get robbed.
Then I'm that guy in the suit at 3 a.m.
Who's like bleeding out on the side of the building.
Everyone's pretty interesting.
Kate Holmes is surprisingly good.
Oh yeah, she's giving like
for someone who came up through like the teen comedy dramas on Warner Bros. Or WB Network and all that. She does really good in the movie. I mean, it's not like Oscar worthy, but
yeah, her performance is definitely she's getting the job done right. She's not supposed to be the damsel in distress exactly, but she's not really a Lois Lane or anything.
No, she. They do now. She's not a
Pretty
character
Lois
from
Lane like though.
right. She's not a character from the comics, which is
Yeah.
the second time they've done that.
Yeah, so she has to invent this character on her own, and I think she does a pretty decent performance.
I think Maggie Gyllenhaal does it better in the next one.
I think she has more to go off of.
Right, she has more to work with, more, and I think she's in the movie more in the next one too. But given what circumstances, Katie Holmes does a pretty good job.
Yeah, and I think she turned down the role because she had other.
What, Katie Holmes, or
yeah,
she did a movie called Money Heist next.
Yeah, well,
no one. Yeah, you never fucking heard of it. Yeah, no one has.
Well, she probably signed on and went, "Oh shit, they're starting that." Oh well, fuck. Well,
I didn't mean to. Damn, I thought they were gonna do it earlier.
Yeah,
Shit.
It's like, whoops, thought that was gonna be next week. Okay, well,
Happens.
yeah.
I do think Michael Caine, Sir Michael Caine, best Alfred.
Yeah. I mean, he's the best of whatever he's in. Of course, he's been in a lot of shit movies. So, I mean,
Jaws. What was it, 4? I paid for his summer home.
Really? He was in. Yeah. Well,
he said like, yeah,
wasn't he in My Father the Hero or something?
I don't know. I never heard that one, but yeah, he's in like
Blame
Jaws.
It on Rio.
He's in Jaws 4, and he has this great thing of like, I've never seen a picture, but I know I paid for my very nice summer home.
I think I have seen Jaws 4. I think I've seen all of them. One Thanksgiving, they were just all on.
That's a movie for the family.
It was just like, I think they were doing a summer and the winter thing.
All right. I guess any excuse to throw on Jaws. Sure.
It's Thanksgiving week. We got nothing else.
Here's Jaws.
All the Jaws movies.
Jaws 5, The Return of Jaws.
Yeah.
Jaws 6, The Jaws Strikes Back.
I watched them all, man. I don't remember any of them, but I watched them all.
They're all the same movie.
Yeah, basically. Roz, very interesting take. Liam was... He basically reinvented the character.
I feel like Roz, though, you almost kind of forget he's in the movie. You know, even when he's there, it's like, oh, yeah, there he is. Like, Scarecrow is in it, I think, more in Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, that's intentional, because he's supposed to be your start and end.
That's true. He starts off as Henry Ducard, like the friend.
Yeah, he also has a transformation.
Right.
It's purposeful. And that's the point. And I think a man of caliber and intent on doing what he can to save the city is Gordon. Gary Oldman, I think this is one of his finest performances he's ever done.
He's very iconic in the role, and I mean, to me, he's almost synonymous with it.
Well, I think that's because Gary Oldman is this weird chameleon. You give him a character, you will not see him in this. In fact, you won't even know it's him.
So I think Prisoner of Azkaban came out like the same year as Batman Begins, or like right before Batman Begins. And he's in that. As Sirius Black.
Right.
You don't even recognize the fact that it's Commissioner Gordon.
These are two different... Like, that's the thing. He's a chameleon. Like, you do not realize... You do not see... Like, Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon is probably the one time you can look at him and go, that's Gary Oldman. But that's because Gordon just sort of naturally looks like Gary Oldman in most...
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Like, the casting could not have been more... And also, too, you can't tell he's a British guy.
No.
I think the only American on this cast was Morgan Freeman and Katie Holmes.
Yeah, everyone else was like a British person in disguise.
I think Rutger? Was he like... He's German or something, ain't he?
I think so. And Neeson is...
Irish.
Yeah.
I don't know how I know that, but yeah,
he's Irish. Everyone forgets that because he doesn't talk like this.
Yeah, he does.
Not all the time.
Yeah, he does.
Not in most movies.
Yeah, he does.
I don't hear it.
I don't know. He's probably changed it over the years. Yeah, no, he exactly talks like that. Anything I've seen.
The Falcone was, that was a perfect...
Yeah, Michael Wilkinson is Falcone.
But I think he just knew what to do with the role.
He's like, all right, you're what am I doing? All right, you're like a shithead mobster.
Okay, that's perfect. Easy. Done.
Like, there's not really much depth to Falcone as there is like the other guys.
Yeah, Scarecrow was...
It was okay.
It was a good interpretation.
Cillian's doing, or Killian, whatever, he's doing better than the writing is allowing him to. Fun fact, he auditioned for Batman. And there's footage of him as like Bruce Wayne, and he's in the Batman Forever suit, and boy, it is awkward.
Yeah,
So they
it's
were like, "You want to be Scarecrow instead?" He's like, "Okay."
yeah. He just doesn't have
That look.
he doesn't have the intimidation. Like Christian Bale can look at you, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I don't want
This
no trouble.
guy's fucking amateur.
Um, yeah. I think everyone's performed very well. Gotham, we've already talked about the style, quick, fast, heavy movement, quick
Mm-hmm.
cuts.
No soundtrack music. Like
No soundtrack.
no
Back
licensed
to
music.
score.
Yeah.
It's back to score. That's the bread and butter. Is that Christopher Nolan believes in score. He'll put a song in there every now and then, but he believes in the score. He really believes in Hans Zimmerman.
Yeah, Hans, too, fun fact with Hans's scores. He doesn't do this in the next two, I don't believe. All the tracks are named after different species of bat.
Yeah. It's very larger than life, swelling. It takes on the it really takes from the foundation. Like
It's almost primal.
it's he came into this movie like Hans Zimmerman came in, saw this lovely garden that Elfman had made and went, "Oh, I should really replant some stuff in this ground here because this is some
And it
good
just
soil."
peed on the part that that the other guy did.
Yeah, so he's like, let's take this nice soil that this lovely Elfman man plowed here, and I'm just gonna plant some seeds back in and make them grow again."
Yeah, like Elfman's score was a little bit more mysterious, mystical, like
This
fantasy
one's more
world.
like,
The Dark Knight,
yeah,
primal.
this is more action,
is-
militaristic,
Right, militaristic. And like with the Joker in the next one, it's very kind of quiet, broken sounding,
yeah,
mentally ill.
yeah. He takes what Elfman groundworked and said, okay, let's modernize that. That was
Yeah.
classical. Let's modernize this classical.
Yeah.
The set design is very modern, but it's way less playful. Completely abandons the heavy Art Deco, heavy Gothic looks.
And
It's
kind of
boring.
boring. That's probably the weakest thing, is that everything here looks
Everything
too real.
Everything looks like the boring ass modern day sleek modern design that you're used to for everything.
Even the Batcave, it's kind of forgettable.
Everything's modern, like, and it's like the Arkham games do it a bit better because it still has that classical look as well as modern.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can believe a fully techno pimped out Batman is running around a city with like old gargoyles and shit all over the place.
Yeah, like the Arkham Knight Batman or something.
Yeah, like, but in this one, it's just clean, modern Chicago. Oh well. It's not as iconic, but it gets the job done.
In short, Batman Begins, I think, is a great Batman movie. If you want to introduce someone to Batman and treat them seriously, I'd go 89, then Batman Begins, or vice versa. And this was the movie that really kind of established Batman. And was like, hey, you can actually do him seriously. There were Oscar talks.
This is Batman for adults.
Yes, and there was even Oscar talks at the time, as opposed to the other movies where
I mean, a lot of them got Oscar. I mean, Heath Ledger will win.
Joaquin Phoenix won, but those are for the Joker,
but,
which are tangentially related.
I think he was nominated but did not win.
Who, Joaquin?
No, Nolan.
Oh yeah, The Dark Knight.
Bale.
Oh.
Bale and Nolan. Cinematography won.
Yes, so like these were movies that were finally like in the Oscar pool for once.
Yeah.
Like 89 won for set design, but who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I mean, like, you're not gonna see like No Way Home didn't get nominated even.
Yeah, that kind of says something, because this had now like a pay grade, and it wasn't just Batman; it was superhero movies in general.
So I think that's the thing, is that that's the difference, is that DC, they've made a lot of bad movies, but the best ones get nominees for Best Picture and all that. This got a nominee for Best Picture.
It did?
Yeah, it got nominees for a lot of stuff.
Huh.
The thing is that this one won stuff. Like Joaquin Phoenix won something. Cinematography won something. Heath Ledger won something. They made the Eternals, and they even had a sex scene in it. The most sexless sex scene I've ever seen in my life. Okay. And
So it was nominated for. I was listening, but it was nominated for 1 Oscar.
Yep.
Which was Best Achievement in Cinematography.
Yep.
Wally Pfister. It didn't win,
Mm-hmm.
but it was nominated for a shit ton of BAFTAs, like every BAFTA.
Yeah, it was nominated for awards. Okay, they made the Eternals the way they made it, thinking that was going to be like their nominee thing, and nothing.
Yeah, nothing happened.
Like a fart in the wind.
Like a turd in the wind.
Yeah. And that's what's pissing off Disney right now, is that they're not getting that superhero, like the superhero films. They're not understanding why aren't we getting awards. It's like because they're still fucking corporate.
Whereas DC is finally, I think, slowly starting to understand that they can go back to like the art style.
Like we can go back to making art rather than a cash grab, because we're not going to compete Disney in the cash grab marketing department.
Joker would never exist if Warner Bros. Didn't finally go, you know what, let's kind of go back to what we were doing with something like Batman Begins.
In the same way, No Way Home would not exist the way it did unless they were like, we're going to just dump money to get eyeballs.
We're just going to fart money at you. How much money you want?
Until people are losing their minds for something that they've always wanted.
I mean, we did too.
Yeah, like, we're not going to win awards, but we're going to get people buying the DVDs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think next time we're going to talk about the follow-up to 2008, highly anticipated. I mean, highly anticipated.
I think
The Dark Knight.
I think that it was very highly anticipated, but if memory serves me right, I remember me and Wilson going, "What are we going to do today? I'm bored." And we just looked and went, "Oh, the new Batman's out. Let's go see that."
Dude,
today.
I was fucking amped. I was like, let's fucking go.
I don't think I was paying attention to like what was coming out at any given time. Same thing. In fairness, same thing with Spider-Man 2. Is that I was at his house. He was playing the Spider-Man 2 game on the GameCube, and I'm like, let's just go see the actual movie. It's out right now. And he went, "No, I'm playing the game. Why would I don't need to see the movie? I'm playing the game."
Because the Shocker's not in the movie.
I went, "Wilson, the Rhino and the Shocker are not in that, and he's not chasing down anyone's balloon." So,
God damn it.
So I picked him up off the ground, and us and the guys, we got in his mom's car and we went to the theater and we watched it, and we're like, he's like, "That was good, but
Where's my damn red balloon?"
I'm gonna go find this little girl's red balloon again." I'm like, "You have an addiction." But then again, I didn't realize how good that swinging was.
It was. I can understand Wilson's argument. It was like, you know what?
That was good, but I'm gonna go back.
I'm gonna go back to web swinging.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I think next time we're gonna talk about the Dark Knight and how that really changed everything.
And what caused some of that to happen with a little movie called Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Came out the same year. A little movie that could.
Yep.
All right. Same bat channel, same bat time, I guess.
Yeah. At least the channel. Don't know about the time.
Yeah, no, time is irrelevant to us.
All right.
We'll see you folks next time.
Yeah. Thank you for listening.